angle going here. See how we're gonna make this work. Alright, because some people sometimes get it set up with this monitor set up. There we go. See how bad the wind noise is. That's pretty loud. See how bad the wind noise is.
It's interesting that you pick it up like that.
Yeah, that's pretty loud. See how bad the wind noise is.
It's interesting that you pick it up like that.
Yeah. That's weird. My phone's off.
Your recording actually picked the echo up from the TV from the delay.
Yeah. Feedback loop. So now she fixed the feedback. Sorry about that. If anybody show up yet, continue 10 seconds. Alright. Let's check and see if that's. Okay, it's better. Might have to put that fan on, otherwise I might die. So I might not be able to handle it. Move on.
Okay. So, what you were talking about in your video the other day is the training process is a lonely man's journey. So, I think that's a big problem nowadays with basically anything. I had a meeting at a yoga studio because I do some lessons at their studio, and she had asked me. She said, like, what motivates you to do Tai Chi? And not to hear my answer, but then she answered my question. She answered her question, and she said to me, the reason that I do what I do is because if I didn't like have a yoga studio and run classes and dedicate myself to coming to the studio, she said I just wouldn't do it. So it's like for her, she has to have people to teach in order to do her yoga,
Right.
or she just wouldn't do it.
A lot of people are like that. You know, I have, over the years, multi-millionaire type A, CEO, C-suite type guys, super driven, cannot train on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them just can't train on their own. This is what it is, And, but that's what separates the men from the boys, especially in term one, in any sport or anything. It's the guys who can get up and do that work alone.
Right.
Isn't
Well,
that-
like you with your drumming, right? I mean, in order to get good, you have to sit there at the drum set and just do rhythms like over and 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 over until it's like
That's basically it.
second nature.
Yeah, that's how I do it. And this is how you get good at anything. Anything in life that you want to get good at, you have to, there's no other way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what separates the real good guys from the average guys. And the thing is, like, a lot of people who are fighters in fight camps, a lot of them, for the most part, they have a camp around them or a group of people, and they train all the time together.
Right.
So it kind of substitutes for that. But for the average jerk off in a commercial school, you're not going to get anywhere.
You're right. Well, because
You have
they
to
go-
train on your own,
Yeah, they go to the class.
and then they don't do it ever again.
Right, and they go home and
That's
they go
it.
to the class. I said I said I guess like a week ago or so, I said, why do you come here? I had the people that were in my class said, why do you come here? And they didn't want to answer.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, I'm going to answer for you. I said, you come here to learn, not to practice. I said, you come here to learn.
Right.
I said, when you go home, you practice. I said, if you don't go home and practice, every time you come here, you're going to be relearning the same stuff
Same shit.
over and over and over. And you never learn anything new because you're always learning the same stuff over and over again.
Exactly, and you're barely making it. So, okay, let's get this angle set up. I think I probably should turn it more.
Is there anyone there?
Yeah, I'm sure someone popped up by now. But, let's get some decent angles here. Like, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I'll give it a couple of minutes
All that good stuff.
and get myself situated properly.
There's two.
It doesn't matter because this is really for the recording.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that, a few people that want to show up will be the ones that want to ask questions. Figure out what the hell they want from me. What do you want from me? Help me, help you! Help me, help you, man! See if we can get a little more. I would be able to do that while charging the phone, but that might be a good angle, I think.
The problem is the further you go away, then the sound quality gets.
I don't know, because we're pretty loud. I talk loud because I've been lecturing my whole life.
You actually do talk loud. So like a lot of times when I walk in, and you're like start talking to me, I'm like, okay, turn it down a little.
That's how you talk when you're from New York. I remember I'm from I'm from Brooklyn, and on top of it, I taught classes and, most of my jobs training or lecturing or something, like I had to talk to a group of people, you can't talk well.
Yeah, you have to project.
Because I had to learn that, because you have to speak up, you know what I mean? Especially when you leave a class, especially a martial arts class. Martial arts class is, especially I learned a really militant system.
Yeah.
So, that's the whole class, we're up here. We're speaking up here the whole time, That's just how it is, you know what I mean? So, my normal speaking voice is pretty loud to begin with. That means I have good lungs.
True.
Alright. Okay, so we got two chatting there, so that means there's at least one other than me. So what's up? Welcome to the party. We're getting set up. It's going to be an interesting stream. See if I don't break anything, including myself. So what were we talking about? We can go over that push hand stuff we were talking about for now until people start showing up, and we'll go through the application list. But we were talking about the push hand thing before the camera started. And I was explaining to you that when you're playing normal push hands,
Yeah.
and you're just trying to, say, do a fixed step, right?
Mhm.
And your goal is to move me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're just trying to move me, okay? That's fine. But my goal isn't to move you. My goal is to stab you. So both hands are daggers, and I have two knives in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal here is I want to cut you, right? Whether I'm cutting you with a knife or my finger, or I'm cutting you with my power. I'm trying to stab you. I don't care about moving you. Because the moving you part, granted in the fields that I'm working, I've launched many people, okay? But you do that to create space or throw them into something. You know what I mean? But my main goal is to smash. So, I literally knocked out at least 20 people with a palm strike. I mean, this is like my number one go-to is a palm strike to the sternum. And I've used it, I'm not exaggerating, I don't like to talk like this. I try to be as humble as possible, but in the field working with clubs and things like that, I've knocked people out unconscious with body shots to the chest. Just going, okay? So that's my number one go-to. So when I go and I push somebody, that's why it's hard for me, because a lot of people that are in the Tai Chi community that say they're doing a martial art are not doing a martial art. Right? And you know what? Let me.
They should just say they're doing an art.
Because it's not martial, it's not meant
Right.
for warfare.
An art.
But the problem is that people's understanding of what I mean by and why. So I have this one troll that's been commenting, oh, you need to be more sunny, more peaceful, all this nonsense. Here's the problem, and I'm going to say this as a prerequisite to anybody who wants to watch the stream. When people say you're too violent and all this stuff, and all these fake spiritual people, okay? What is the difference in karma from someone going to the supermarket and eating a factory farmed killed animal, or someone calling the cops to do violence for them? Because when the shit goes down, what are you going to do? You're going to call the cops. You call people like me with bats and guns to do violence to protect you.
That's true.
There is no karmic difference between me getting someone to kill a cow so I can eat it, or me going and calling the cops to beat you up.
Or you killing the cow.
And the point is,
Mm-hmm.
the karma is the same in that equivalent. If I'm calling upon someone else to do violence to protect me, it's the same as I'm calling upon someone else to do violence on an animal to eat it. The Buddha has a warrior attendant with a diamond sword to slay demons for a reason. Okay? You can't have in this realm spiritual communities and peace without warriors and sheepdogs to protect you. Okay? This realm is a basis on creation and destruction. If you want to work on the right-hand path and be in the light and be a Buddhist, you must understand spiritual warfare. You must protect the sect. You must protect the freaking congregations. Whether it's a church, a temple, whatever it is. Right? You need sheepdogs. You need guardians. The guardians can't be little pussies. The guardians have to go against the devil. The devil's not playing any games. So this is the misunderstanding that they have, saying, well, you can't be a Buddhist and be violent. Then you don't really understand Buddhism or Taoism. If you don't understand the relativeness of this.
Or putting that in a non-Buddhist way, but you like saying you can't be a Christian and be violent.
Christianity is based on holy wars the whole time. The God of Abraham is Yahweh is the destroyer. So I'm not going to get into that too much because I'm more of a Gnostic than anything else. So my people will be very upset with me if I telling you about my real religious practices of Buddhist and the Gnostic. Okay, so I think all your God is the devil. So that's a whole other thing. But the point being is, they say they understand the philosophical stuff, but they don't. They're pretentious. They make believe. They preach nonsense. Right? They preach nonsense that they don't even live by.
Yeah.
They're hypocrites. Okay? And, yes, if it was up to me, I would love to live in a perfect, peaceful world. But this realm is not that. Even the most spiritual communities who are all about free the animal, this and all that, what happens to those people? They get robbed and murdered and all this bad stuff happens to them. You can't negate reality. Yes, a pacifist is someone who is capable of extreme violence, but chooses not to for moral purpose. But if you're not capable of violence, you're not a pacifist, you're a punk. You're a pussy. Okay? And you're not protecting the light or any philosophical thing. Okay? If you want to be a real Buddhist, you have to understand nature as it is.
We also have to, well, me personally, when you speak to the general crowd that's watching the video, I mean, how many of them are Buddhists? So if you're saying you want to be a Buddhist...
But that's not the point I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, like, to get your point across.
But most of the people who come trolling and like throwing philosophical nonsense to me. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen when they get robbed? Oh, I should have been more sung. I should have been more released. Just one troll that keeps commenting, oh, you need to find a real master to teach you to be sung. I mean, it's obvious troll. But I'm like, it just represents the mass delusion in this world right now. Like that he even thinks that's a troll. Like he doesn't understand. I look at him like he's a moron. Okay? Like whichever one of these factions of idiots it's coming from. But it helps to serve a purpose. No, you're not going to shame me for being a man with honor who lives by a code of ethics that's over 2,000 years old. Okay? No, this is what men are supposed to act like. You understand? You have to have righteous anger. If you don't, the devil will destroy you. You can't just be double light and double soft. It's nonsense. And the only people that get rid of that's the Yang style people. And they all live in the delusional little camps. They never test and they don't have the excuses. There's this one guy that does the Wing Chun channel. They always talk about 1850s Wing Chun. This is what really set me off. It's like, he's hiding behind Buddhism as why, oh, I never fight him. He's like afraid, like he could break him like a twig. But he's teaching Wing Chun, historically. And he uses Buddhism as an excuse. But when you look at the history of Buddhism, it spawned the greatest warriors in history. So how are you using Buddhism as an excuse to hide behind? When the greatest warriors of all time were Buddhists.
Yeah.
What are you saying? It doesn't make any sense. These people are living in delusion. This is the Dharma ending age, where people are just completely out of their mind. You know what I mean? And you can be a good person and still be willing to protect yourself in that which you find virtue in. Okay? You need to understand how to tame violence.
So, what's your thoughts as far as how it got to this point in what I'm going to say now? I was doing some reading on Yang Wu Chen, right? Mm-hmm. And Yang Wu Chen was pretty much forced to teach Tai Chi to the guard, right? Mm-hmm. So in being forced to do anything, you always have the option to
Why
change it, right? It's like, are you actually telling me the real thing or not, right?
Exactly.
So at that point is when he decided that I'm going to teach you, but it's not going to be the real stuff.
Okay, so this is a whole thing, especially with Chinese culture specifically, it's a mess. So the Chinese are notorious for teaching you wrong on purpose. In fact, it's almost tradition for the real Tai Chi masters to teach you wrong for 10 years. And they'll show you the form, and like, just do water off. Okay, fine, so this is your water, right? Now, they'll teach you this frame as being correct for the first 10 years. And then later, we'll say, now it's fixed. They teach you wrong on purpose. One is to protect the master, two to protect the, make them relevant. But then you have the powers that be. There's a major misunderstanding about the Tao and the Tao Te Ching. In those times, China was always an oppressive force. There's always been this caste system. There's always been oppressing these people. So there's always this weird history of martial arts and philosophy. So when he wrote this, it was during a time where there was like wars going on. So if you understand the context, it's very subversive. They couldn't say we're training for war and strategy and how to defeat the guy from the underhand. They can't say that because they'll be killed. How many times they burned down the Shaolin Temple? You know what I mean? So you gotta come from the reference point of these people, how they lived. It had to be hidden. It had to be a secret. To this day now, China banned making traditional weapons. To get a real Chinese sword, you have to get it in America. You can't get it in China. The origin of the arts, the Orient, you can't get the swords. Okay?
Like those guys moved here to be able to make the sword.
From my understanding, my Qigong master in 2001, he told me that the big secret is that the real Shaolin scrolls and teaching is in upstate New York now.
They had to move out of country.
Because they will kill them.
Mm-hmm.
They will kill them. So there's a lot of misunderstanding. You look at the time frame, the Beijing 24 form, and what they were allowed to do. What they were allowed to do. So I'm coming from a reality-based reference. How did the warrior class that was practicing Tai Chi or whatever the majority of arts were practicing? They weren't playing competition push-hand. The Emperor's bodyguard's not playing this game. You know? When you're doing your Tai Chi sword form, you're doing to cut guys down, sometimes with horses. Sometimes trying to kill the horse.
Mm-hmm.
That's how brutal it is.
And it's not a sword that goes like this.
No, it's the real Tai Chi sword, it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's not, even like, my practice sword, which is an actual sword, is a toy compared to the real sword I've trained with.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sword, okay?
Yeah.
It's not a game. This is not a game. This is life and death. Not a game. There's no game about this.
It takes training just to be able to hold the sword, let alone
Right.
flip it around.
So I went, starting around age 15, I started practicing because I was already training ridiculously hard stuff with crazy guys who went to Vietnam in World War II, you know what I mean? Actually, I was growing up with guys who came out of World War I because I was that old, you know what I mean? I know guys who were born in like 1901, 1902, I was younger. You know what I mean? That were in their like 80s to the 2090s, you know what I mean? So I actually met people who were actually in World War I. You know what I mean? So I have a different mind frame, but then I'm also studying Eastern philosophy, I lived by it. The legends, like I tried to live up to those legends and I had the trainers to do it. So then I come into this world of delusion and I have these like nobodies talking nonsense. 50 years ago, you get your head smashed in. And it would be considered normal and honorable. In the 90s, when I'm telling you in New York, when people talk shit like you guys do on the internet, Gen X, the cops would let us fight. Okay? I mean, they wouldn't break up the fight. They would just let it go on. Because like, yo, I remember one time, oh God, got into an accident, and the cop basically having problems with the guys in the car, and the cop made me smack the guy in front of them. Okay? I can't say too much on the internet, but the cops literally made me smack somebody up. One time, I'm actually going to share this with talking about combat and survival. So as a kid, something my mom taught me is because she grew up, it was vicious in New York. She used to go to school with her hair braided and put razor blades in the braids, so that when she would fight in school, the girls would cut their hands grabbing her hair. That's where I come from. Okay? Just imagine that.
It's funny you should say that. I actually saw that not that long ago. A girl had razor blades in her hair.
That's where I come from. So what I would do is one of the tricks is we take saran wrap, pennies and nickels, Vaseline oil, salt. You mix it together and you put it and you tie it up so that you put it in your pocket so that someone tries to rob you. You take it out, you pinch it, and you throw it like a baseball and it becomes shrapnel.
Yeah.
So I got jumped by 9 dudes trying to rob me on Rockaway Parkway. So it was my friend's friends, which is why I didn't see it coming. I was like 16. So I said, all right, please, blah, blah, blah. I turned to go to my house. They broke off from my friend. And my friend didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because they're like, one while the group kept going, and then that group said, fuck, we're gonna jack this dude. They turned to the corner, and then they tried, like, just punch him, run your shit, punch him in the face. I said, oh, you can't, you run my shit? So it's like, fight. Wham! And all you hear is, bing, 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 bing. They're like, oh shit, nigga, what's up, what the fuck? So I run my ass up to my door, because I'm only a quarter from my house.
Yeah.
So now I get to my door, I was with a baseball bat at the door. So I run the door, I slam, I just barely made it. Slam the door in their face, they're kicking the door, I grab the bat, now I open the door, so I'm batting motherfuckers out. Okay, so now I'm chasing them. Like, this is crazy. 2 detectives from 69 Precinct roll up, boop, boop, right? And what are you doing? These guys scatter, right? They put me in the back of the car to go find the rest of them. That's Brooklyn in 1993 and 5, okay? That's where I grew up. So it's hard for me to express the type of life I lived and then have to speak to people who've lived this sheltered life, who didn't experience a quarter of what I've experienced.
That's me.
Okay? But you don't come talking shit.
Right.
You don't come with nonsense. Right? You actually want to learn stuff. You come with understanding. You're not trying to be disrespectful, be a moron for just the sake of being a moron. Right? And you don't try to throw like random philosophy you've seen in a movie to somebody who's actually practiced it his whole life. I lived as a Buddhist, okay? I live it. Alright? And what you think is Buddhism, what you think is philosophy is not the same to me. The reality is, I'm going to say this again, the karma of me using violence by proxy to send cops to do violence for me is no different than me going to the supermarket and going to buy a dead cow that someone else killed for me. There's no difference. In the variation of karma and reality, there's no difference. You have to be able to protect yourself. And those who can't, it's our job to protect them. Right? It's our job as the guys who have the ability to do violence for good. It's our job to protect those who can't. So do not come to me anymore with this nonsense about being, being spiritual. Okay? Because the Buddha himself has a warrior attendant with a diamond sword that slays demons for a reason. This reality, this is the Dharma ending age. This is not a game. Everywhere around you see turbulence and war and strife and death. We're not here to play games. We have to survive. Okay? That's it. So so how do I have to have these conversations? Because I look at the state of the world in complete delusion. It's complete delusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you see these guys and going to the Tai Chi community now, and granted, I respect these masters because I know the study and how much they love the art and how much they go for it. But, hey, what's up? How you doing, Shirley? See if we're Shirley in the house. What's up? How you doing? So, you see, and anybody who's been coming for the recode, check out how do you say it properly? Because we've been discussing this. Is it A or I? I say I ping. She says A ping. I can't say. I can't read. She's a great instructor. Okay, exactly what I'm saying. Like how Tai Chi study body mechanics should be done. I would always point to Shirley. She's awesome. But then you have these other guys who are basically showmans and showing trickery. And I'm not saying that the Fa Jing stuff and the magic woo isn't important, but you have this stage where everybody wants the superpowers and the ego and the narcissistic point, or to be known for these things. You know what I mean? It's like between the two. Okay, make it complicated. Thanks. How about I? I'm Hispanic, so I can do that. But you have a problem because the best delusion now with these people is that they're showing all those fudging tricks, right? It takes you years to get to that, and you should be
And that's what's
wanting to.
attracting people in.
And then the problem is that when you have all the other variables, fake Tai Chi masters, Park Tai Chi for health, it's not understanding that it was the martial aspect was removed on purpose to survive and for because it was twofold. Chinese government needed the medical aspect because people were sick and didn't have the funding. And the second part is the Chinese government would have killed the masters if they showed how to defend themselves. Because they do not want any type of uprisings.
Mm-hmm.
At all. Not even consider it, don't think of it. Doesn't exist. So these Americans in the Western mind is so broken that they don't understand. What we need is to get the MMA crews to understand, even in that you cannot disregard the health benefit of Tai Chi. Even doing it incorrectly, even the fake certifications that play adult daycare yoga Tai Chi is still better than no Tai Chi for your health.
True.
So these MMA people should be getting involved because you cannot, the scientific proof that a guy like you, who's doing a combat sport, when you hit 45 like me, and your body's like, ouch, I wouldn't be walking. I have 4 herniated discs, fractured countless bones. I shouldn't be able to stand right now. I'm a living testament that the health benefit works, okay? I wouldn't be alive.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can get people who actually fight, more of them, okay, to get involved, because they have the eyes and they understand. So we'll go over that today, but the point is, that's the main thing, Like we have to get, first the philosophical aspect that people do not understand violence from a philosophical point and understanding its useful and how to deal with it directly. Because people, they need to be desensitized. First, when you go to the military, any of I'm not talking traditional martial arts in the school. I'm talking about the way I learned, like, as a family art. They break you. They break you down to nothing and build you back up because you have to have a different mindset. Most people that eat meat can't even hunt. I don't mean they can't physically hunt. I mean they can't do it. Whereas I'm a Buddhist for, and a vegetarian for 23 years. But when I was training, I would go on purpose for mental training. I would go and eat the fish off the hook while it's flattening. That's the kind of training you had to desensitize. I would eat bugs off the ground. I went and did SEER training with my teachers. I did crazy things because you had to desensitize yourself to that kind of life. You can't make believe. Mm-hmm. You can't live as this peaceful monk outside the monastery. Every time you go outside, you're dealing with danger. Okay? So in order to, and this is why I think the most important part of Tai Chi as a growth to spiritual practice is not making Tai Chi a spiritual practice, but to make it the bedrock for your body to enable you to get the spiritual practice. Because if you're in fear of harm or illness, you can't do meditation. You can't be asking for the God of the deities. You understand? You have to have a solid structure. Even just sitting in meditation, I've said this many times. Sitting in meditation, even sitting in a chair, forget about a lotus posture or anything like that. It hurts. Yeah. After like 20 minutes, you get into the chant cycle, you kind of go to that place. But then when you come out,
and you're like, oh.
There's been times where I could not get out.
Yeah.
My master had to come and move me out.
That makes a lot of sense.
I couldn't physically I couldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't feel my feet for like an hour. Like it hurts. You have to prepare your body and your mind. So I think that's the thing. But I'm hoping that this prerequisite is going to make them understand my position because
people don't like pain.
Well, people don't like pain, and they've also been trained by their governments and the society to be weak and slaves. This world is a slave prison-like factory farm for humans. Every aspect of our life is that. Oh, no one wants to eat bitter. It's like, what's up, Deadly Duels? Nice to see you, my man. Yeah. Joey C's born in Brooklyn, so he knows what I'm talking about then. Joey C knows what I'm talking about. So I grew up in East New York, Canarsie. So you know what I'm saying. My mom was in Howard Beach, Ozone Park. My grandma was in East New York, and then we all moved to Brownsville, Canarsie, and then moved by little to Sheep's Head, and started moving west. So you know what I'm saying. And I was in the Guardian Angels in 1994. So I was patrolling Times Square in the crackhead days. So you know what I'm talking about if you're from Brooklyn, okay? It's a different world, especially in Generation X. We had to do that. You know what I mean? We had to fight for real. So the idea of dealing with violence as a philosophy doesn't make you a bad person. You have to learn to take your shadow and make it light. You have to learn to take the dark side of you and align it with the light. You can never remove the yin-yang of you, right? Like, you have to just marry it so that it becomes controlled by the light. Same as like a light casting a shadow. Instead of letting the shadow cover you, you control the shadow.
So another thing too with, because we're talking about...
How old Shirley? Greetings from Germany, how's it going? We're going to get started in a second, that's why I give people time to come in.
With today's stream, we were talking about application, right?
Yes.
And then you also mentioned about the woo side. So I think somewhat of a disconnect is that we're seeing a lot of attraction and views to the woo, and less attraction and views and not enough people showing the application. So people are drawn to the woo because they're not seeing the application
Right,
side.
and there's a lot of circular snaking its tail thing because you have generations of the applications have been lost, forgotten, or not taught. Then you have masters who have the ability but have no reason. And then after a while they forget that the rest of the world's out there.
I mean, it's even like what you were saying as far as like you've forgotten more than most people know.
Way more.
Like the thing even then is that when you practice or you're at peak of practice and you have all the memory and knowledge of the applications, and then you don't do it for years,
right.
it falls off. Even like a form.
Well,
if you actually learn a form and then you don't do it for like 10 years,
right, but here's the thing.
you're not going to remember.
In my karate style, there's 27 forms. And I had to know them all.
Yeah, well,
I
you can't do them now.
I can remember 3 off the top of my head, but I can remember every single technique.
Mm-hmm.
Forms are, people misunderstand forms, especially like the new age, the new generations, especially combat people, oh, forms are bullshit. If you're doing pad drills and you have any kind of preset sequence, you're doing a form. Okay? When you're doing boxing basics, right, when you jab, right, that's a form, but they're isolated 7, told you. Did you know what? You're from Brooklyn? I knew I liked you. That's why she understands me. Oh, you're from 8th Ave? Oh, shit. So, the idea of form kata like that is it's a notebook that's able to be passed down through generations of a series of techniques. So let's just say I do jab, cross, hook, hook, overhand, uppercut. That's my kata of boxing. Okay? And now I can pass this kata down the line as a notebook to people, because in those days it was hard to get a scroll to write things. If you ever read the book Fahrenheit 451, and the whole notice that they were burning books and people had to remember the entire book and be the oral translator of the book.
Oh, like that one with...
So that's what form is. Form is meant as a notebook to pass on a list of technique and as a practice gym, so that you have a way to practice on your own, to train. That's the main form thing. So people don't understand the usefulness of form. Same as in 1-steps, right? So if you step in a form, touch like this, and then you so you see this, can back up a little bit, so make sure they can see. Okay, so you see in classical karate, back up. Right there, good, okay. So, if you've seen classical karate, I'm probably doing this the wrong way. Switch around. Okay, sorry guys. Punch. Good. So you see this and people say, oh, this stuff is useless, right? Oh, why are you doing this? It's not going to happen in a fight. It's not supposed to be realistic. It is a training tool. I just made him into a punching bag. I made him into a wooden dummy. So now I have a human wooden dummy that I can practice alignment, timing, conditioning. He gets to see attack vector. So he gets to learn how to stay still, go back. He has to learn how to not flinch and stay calm when he's being attacked, right? I have to learn control. He gets to see the vector of attack. There's a place for this training. These are the problem that you've lost the reason of why we do these segmented drills. Did the stream freeze up? We'll make sure we're still good, okay? It looks, okay, we're still good. Sorry about that. So, people lost the reason of why we do the training algorithm. So there's a lot of things that people understand in general why these old methods worked and what got removed and why it got removed. And then you have the masses, and most of them are living in delusion and don't want to do the real work. They don't really want it. Oh, nice. You had a whole Brooklyn career. My soul family's returning from all over the world. What is this? And guys, if you're coming in, like the videos because the algorithms, hit the like button, please. Okay, so let's start with the applications. There's enough people here for the recording and questions and stuff. Okay, so we're going to go over with because guys, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to eventually go and rent a professional studio and do an actual application library or something like that. I have to see how much I remember. And I also want to see how much comes out and who asks questions and what people actually need. But the first, I'm going to start off, so we're going to do Yang style derivative applications and how I go about them. I also need to understand it. My system is a unified system that encompasses every Tai Chi family art. So there will be some theories and techniques that you'll see will be relative to Chen or Wu or Sun or Dong or Hung, because I spent so many years stealing techniques from my friends and people I play with. Sometimes I have trouble remembering which ones are from whom. You know? So I'm going to show you parts of my personal form today so you can understand what I mean. But I've literally used my form as a notebook. So at this point, after 27 years, it's difficult for me to say 100%, oh, this is Chen or this is whatever. But my thing is that Tai Chi comes from 8 principles. And from 8 principles, it becomes the largest system of human existence. So is it really wrong? I can tell you it works. Okay. But I'll do my best to keep it as close to the young concepts as I was able to pull back from Wang Wuchang, the Banho style, like anything I can remember. Okay? But the first thing I'm going to go over is the opening of the form. And over the years, you've seen many people who do the opening application, right? And they always do is a double-handed push. And they're already in the 50-50, and then they're going to do the clear chest and step back. This isn't how the form operates. Okay? If that was the beginning of the form would start here, wouldn't it?
Right, yes.
This is no longer the commencement. So let's go over the principle of why you start off this unit 45. So in any system of martial arts now, from tradition, you start in a ready attention in the feet 45, whatever, but you're in an attention stance of some form. And then you start with your ready position, which is this, okay? This is Tai Chi's version of Chun Li in karate, okay? Notice the first thing that's done. What's the first step in the application is what? Come at me. What's the first step? No one gets this. I don't understand, but I'm going to reiterate this.
Get out of the way.
Get off the X. First step, okay? And maybe we'll do guns on saying, let's just say he has a gun, and he points the gun at me. What's my first thing? Not to stand here. No, it's to get off the X. So the very first thing that the first move is teaching you is to change off the center axis. First thing. So all of your combat applications should start here. Right? And once you see that, the whole form opens up. Because now I'm here, now I'm here, now I'm here, now I'm here. Okay? So the whole idea is starting to pay attention to the small details. And don't think that anything that these genius masters from the Wu Tao Mountain, don't think any little detail that they did was erroneous. Everything they did had meaning. They were way smarter than us, and all they did is have time.
True.
This was their life. Eating rice, going up and down a mountain, meditating and doing this. Okay? This is all they had. We're never going to be able to outthink them. Our problem is we have digressed. Right? So we have to go backwards. We have to respect the knowledge that these ancient people had. Okay? We're not smarter or stronger than them. Respect our place. Dunning-Kruger effect. Look it up. So, reiterating this again. Starting an application is getting off the line. So, the first application you should normally see is you being on the outside with only one hand touching. Because this sets up the form. Okay? I'm not going to take them down. But this sets up all of the variables of the form. Is by understanding that first outside step. Right? Because if you look at it, throw a punch in my hand. 1, 2, here's my ward off, here's my break, here's my seal, here's my trap. Right? There's a million different things that happen just when you get into the correct position. That make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, going into the double hand push strategy. If I start here, my feet together, and he goes to the push, when I go offline, I no longer have a direct push on me. So now this application push on. This application works very well. Even if I don't have I train this, I can sit here and I have the root to be able to stand in this position. But you don't need to, because the application teaches you right off the bat is to break his line. Okay? Now, in my form, I'm going to show you my personal version of the form. I have Pengwu Jian twice. So when I start here, I start off as a bottom cell. We turn it over, we dot, we seal, we roll over, we frame, and then we seal. Then from here, we have basically your split elbow cow, right? Twice. So if you grab me here, break the arm here, break the arm here, that's fine. The other thing is, when you notice the rotations that I have, and this is very similar to all the other lineages, the old lineages always have a spinal rotation. When you grab me, I can just go to the, always another thing, when you're dealing with the grab, you're only going to go to the thumb. So I want to attack this one joint specifically. So as I do my rotations, I'm going to rotate, I put the power into that joint. He cannot hold on to it. Okay? So every single move that I'm doing in the form is a break, where I'm breaking out of a grab. Every single move. Doesn't matter what he's doing. If I'm in Ryu and he grabs me, I go right to that joint. Grab me again, I go right to that joint. Okay? I don't just do a dead two-dimensional move, because that's not how it was taught. It's taught with the spiral. Okay? So I either want to attack, generally whenever possible, attack this specific hinge, or attack the space between this bone and this bone, the ulna. Okay? From the first middle, or the fifth middle. Okay? So from here I go and try to roll this way, or I'm going to go and try to break his wrist this way, as in knee LC bottom. Okay? The idea is to, and you can learn about this in small circle jiu-jitsu or aki jiu-jitsu. So the first serious martial art that I trained in for real was Aki Elmo Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? But it has a lot of this small frame circle stuff, which is why it's really easy for me to see applications. Because, before I went to classical karate, I started with that. And all the waza, all the tricks. So for me as a kid, I already had the eye for that, so it makes sense to me. Okay? So the first application again, that's we're going to, you'll see a lot of people want to do the fancy Fa Jing thing, right? So you go and launch them out, or you move closer, I don't want to break my altar. But you guys see me do it, I don't have to show off that much. But you'll see the idea, right? All of these Fa Jing tricks generally rely on me getting him to go triple yang and tense up the space between the synovial joint. Then I'm going to go and send a compressed wave directly through that into his spine, but I generally want to triangulate it, the spot between my septal protuberance, the spot where the thoracic spine, the middle of the thoracic spine, or the lumbar sacral junction. Generally, I like to go through the lumbar junction. So, right in that space where the thorax and the lumbar go, right in the space between the occiput, and right in the space here, because that's a place where, you say 9 pearls on a string, but this is a place where it's really vulnerable. So I'll tend to target because I want to cause whiplash. So when I do this, watch his head. So you felt that? Mm-hmm. Right? So if I just go through the shoulder, I can move him and make him go fancy flying. But for combat, I want him to be broken on the inside. You feel the difference?
Yeah.
So all this Fa Jing stuff is impressive, it looks nice. In reality, I'm just going to hit you. Okay? So if I'm going to do, the most of the Fajing stuff for me, when I use it actual, when I had to use it in the field and it comes out naturally, it's more like, you see this? That's what I want. I don't want him flying away unless I have to. There's been times I've launched people, I'm not saying I didn't do it. Majority of the time, I don't want you to even
But
know.
then they're gonna come back. If you launch more, they're gonna come back.
But not when I do it. Because you imagine, I'm really going to put all my body into this. Like, I've slammed people into walls and like this. You know, when you do it when you do it that hard, the body will, and their whiplash, they're messed up. It actually injures them.
Yeah.
Because it's a long gin, but it's the first impulse is so violent that the body. Remember I explained to you that when I do the flash of the long gin, right? What's actually happening is I'm sending a pressure wave out. You have a compression and then you have refraction. So the first compression wave goes out. You get sucked in behind into the vacuum. It's not me pushing you. My push went through you, but you're getting vacuumed in. You're like, right? Now this is like 10% of the power. If I go full force, your body's right? Just that jerkiness of it will hurt you really badly.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's been like part-time in the club scene where I had to like, you know, like somebody just I was launching and they're not happy. Okay?
Yeah, like launching into the ball.
But generally speaking, you're correct. When it comes down to self-defense, you know what I mean? You go push me, and I go push me, I go flying away, I go, okay, pop, 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 pop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is nonsense. Right? But if you have, and I want to use 5J in this situation, do you see what happens to his body? So now when I do this storm, blah, 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 whatever it is, he's disrupted.
Right.
But I didn't lose my connection to him. So I don't need to have this Fajing superpower where he's flying away. Like if we're boxing, for instance, your hands up, and I go a jab over, you felt that? That's what I want. Because you just lost your feet and you don't feel it. You understand? So you don't even notice you lost your feet. Okay? That's more effective than flying an ILA.
Yeah.
What the Longjin power does do for combat punching is that it teaches you alignment so that when you hit somebody, they feel it. But you have to also practice your power output. If you're only practicing soft, long power, you don't have that ever. It's not going to be there for you.
Yeah.
What you need to think about when you're doing the form for health and for that form is the check swing in baseball or in golf. I'm just practicing my lines. Okay? So the moves that go like this, only people in the Western mind in their dreamland think that doing a form like this is how you fight. This is lockdown, right? Punch. That's what this is. Okay? Because white crane, it's crane, right? Crane power is just bang! Just out of nowhere, pop! You don't even feel it. You feel that punch, just pop! It's just out of nowhere. But how do you get that alignment? You fast come.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hit you like that in real time. Speed kills. Use a punch. Okay, I'm sorry, but I know you feel that. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
If I do it full, you should be devastated. So you got to remember that the form that you're practicing for health was one is a check swing and it's doing for the meditation, but the end goal is it's a check swing. And anybody in the Yang family is going to argue this. Where did Yang steal it from? Chen. What's Chen style?
Yeah, it's definitely different.
So it's definitely different. It's bone breaking, crushing, twisting. It's like you're putting your hand in a machine that just crushes you up.
Yeah.
So where are we getting this nonsense? And then these guys will come to me, disrespectful, saying that I'm the one teaching something that's a lie. But it's in your face. You make sense? Okay. So any questions so far from anybody? So I don't want to. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm winning it, guys. Let me know if there's any questions, and I'll keep moving on. You have any questions? Oh, I'm glad you.
Okay, so let's go to
We're going to
to the
Or you keep going.
Get up and down.
Okay, so clear chest. So again, all the basic opening form applications, because this is the problem, is that you have striking, grappling, or throwing, and bone dislocations. I'm not going to go over the dislocations as much because they're too easy to be dangerous. But let's just go over the opening form. So you have the open. In combatives, it's called a fence. Every combative system has this, where you step offline and you create your fence or your guard. So the idea is that this, you kind of push this, it should feel solid. I should be able to take on a hook punch. I should be able to cover my face from anything that's coming. And have my hands by his eye or his throat. Preferably the eye, because it's a natural response when I put my hand in your eye. So
Yeah, you immediately don't like. It's very uncomfortable.
right now, somebody who's older, you may lose power. You may lose dexterity. You should be able to go poop. If you've been practicing for 40 years, poop. Okay, I guarantee you. There's actually a video of a Green Beret that somebody like from another like army camp was like challenging him, and the guy was like gonna fight, and he just poked him in the
I
eye.
saw that one.
And he's
laughed
like, right
so hard.
down.
I was like,
Right
that's
down.
the best.
And it was like a delayed reaction because the shock kicked in. Because he went, and he's like, and he's done.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, oh, I got it doesn't work. Nonsense. Okay? Nonsense. Tai Chi was meant as a self-defense or to protect good people. So you have to be able to do bad things to bad people if you're a good person that cares about good things. Right? Right. In order to get the full health benefit, because I will say that you can get health benefit even doing it incorrectly. Because just on the way that you're moving, the blood circulation, breathing, and most importantly for older people to have community and touch.
I mean, just getting out of the couch.
It's an overall win, which is why there's so many fake online certification like wannabe yoga Tai Chi people are getting sales and making it, because even bad Tai Chi. Tai Chi is so powerful that doing it wrong is still good. That's how amazing Tai Chi is. That if you do it wrong, it's still good. You're welcome, okay? Okay, so let's go into the next one, okay? So clear chest and push, fine, so I'm here, alright? Now, eyes grab, I can pull him in, and as I pull him in, I can press him off. Okay, we have dotting, so as soon as this is something I forget how many people don't know. So in the class they call it dotting, whereas a stab of the fingers like a spear finger. Okay? So dotting is the first thing you're learning. Dot in the eye, dot in the throat, dot in the clavicle, right? So immediately as he comes in, I want to be all up in his stuff. This is the very first thing, because this is a life and death situation. This isn't, I'm a tough guy. This is not, classical karate, Tai Chi is not meant for a fight. Right? It's not meant
to end it.
It's meant for self-protection. So it's an exchange. If you've ever seen real street fights, the first person gets hit with a clean shot's done. It's not, even in like bare knuckle boxing fights, these are real trained fighters, and they'll go for a couple minutes. But what is it really? The first clean shot, it's over. So it's not meant for these battle things. It's not meant to play these games. You know? Like if you're gonna like take me down for instance, like a jiu-jitsu type of thing, you go for my knee, I'm going to try to get his throat and on the first contact. Right? I should be going through the elbow to the throat on the first contact. I should be trying to go, come in slowly, and grab him by the eye sockets on the first contact. That should, but you have to drill this. You can't be, oh, this for karate, boy, and then bouncing like this, and the guy will take you down, and you have to drill it. You have to make this part of your immediate response factor. It can't just be, oh, you have to be thinking in context. English muffin pizza. I like English muffins. I don't think it's English muffin pizza. I like English muffins, I like pizza, but both together probably not a good thing.
No, it's good.
English muffin pizza?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's. I'm sorry. Have you had a bagel pizza?
Yeah. I guess
It's
you're
good.
right.
Yeah.
Alright, now I gotta try the English muffin pizza.
They're good. Yeah, they're good.
Oh god. Okay. So where were we with the base application? Okay, fine. So we're going through the first order form. Let's go all the way to the whole thing what Peng actually does, right? So just in general, when you push me, ward off is, to cover your heart and your center, right? But it's also to clear it off to create an attack forward, right? Liu, you can have however you want to see the power generators, but in the combat variable is basically something's coming towards my center, and I either want to bring it to the outside corner or take its energy and put it inside me while I do that. But its function on the attack path is as this is rolling away, I'm going to attack his elbow or attack something. So while the back half, the inside, is yielding and sucking him into a void, the front half is young and attacking. So we're automatically doing something to hit this guy. So the same idea is like, he throws that punch and I roll to hit him with this side. Right? Same as in boxing. If I'm southpaw, for instance, I roll and I come here. The same idea as Liu, like theoretically. G is just like a straight attack of any kind. And you can consider it squeezing two it's funny to us toddlers because that's how I look at a lot of
I used
things.
to have them, that's what I mean. When I was a kid, we used to.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
were good.
I also lived in Brooklyn, so I had pizza like everywhere. Like I was a Ninja Turtle. My skin probably green on the inside. So, I'll go over the applications in a second. Let's give you the theory first, I think is important. G is when you're squeezing together, but it's more about triangulating force in a linear path. So you can even think of like a punch as a form of G, because I'm actually squeezing a triangle force to make that point. But the applications of G are obviously different, but I'm just giving you a basic theory. On is to seal or smother or blanket down. So if he comes to punch, whatever, that's on. Right? So its main function, primary, if you look at and I've shown this in the other thing. Give me a second. If you look at this keychain, right, this is the yin yang. This is how the yin yang actually operates. Okay? So it's actually three-dimensional, and it goes in this way. So it's not actually two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional. So when you look at the circle, Hung is from here to here, and An is from here to here, Liu is from here to here, and G is from here to here. This is a very basic way to look at this, but if you want to just get a concept, then you get your four corner energies by taking the wheel and shifting it 45 degrees. So you have the four axes and corners. Okay? Where were we in that? Okay, fine. So An works as a seal. When you're dealing with blocking, right? I would say your setup for a guard should be, play guitar, because this is the most functional guard. You throw any kind of punch, or whatever, doesn't feel good, right? Doesn't feel good. So yeah, bang, bang. That's on. Okay. You throw a kick sometime. That's on. Okay. And if I do any hard, I'm sorry, but you want to be blanket smother your color, right? So when you look at on in the wrestling sense and you push me, what am I really doing? I'm sealing him down and blanketing him in. Right? So its function in grappling is to smother and seal. Okay? Not talking about the power generators, we can go over that for hours and for that and those arguments. But its basic function in the Tai Chi model in 3 dimensions is what's happening. Right? It's a check mark. I like to also say it'd be a lot easier for people to understand if you stop thinking in a circle, start thinking in a square. Because 360 degrees is 90, 90, 90, 90. So a lot of these techniques make more sense. Like for instance, if I do the form, and I'm doing the basic version of the form, and I do ward off, and you see this, you don't see the breaks. There's no break here. So to you, it just looks like this like non-ending, that's great, because we're supposed to make the straight round and the round straight. Functionally, what's happening is this. Click, 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 click. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta start thinking in the edges. What was that red thing that just happened here? Have you seen the physicist Nassim? No, I haven't actually. I mean, I know a lot about like a Taurus field and how the board works, but I've never seen this guy. Like, if you can send this to me, I check it out. I'm a super geek. So, oh yeah. So thinking of the form in a square will help to start relieve the application problem. Let's go into basic applications of the form.
Yes, so now you're now you're word offs.
Okay. So again, the base applications become very apparent when you understand that the first part of opening sequence, this step is the application. And I cannot stress this enough. It's not here and then he attacks me. It's he's attacking me and I go here. It changes the entire form. Thank you. I'll definitely watch that. So it changes the form. Come from here, bang. So now from the outside, the first position of ward-off makes a lot more sense. Which winds up being, part horse's main. Okay, I think the first ward-off left is more of a part horse's main application. But again, it gives us a lot down. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, through this one. So I start my first step, I get offline, I clear chest, I unseal, break here, throw here. This throw is actually a strike. So this is an impact strike. You just want the ribs onto the armpit right here. It sucks.
Yeah.
When you're hitting the ribs, you want to hit it slightly at a down angle because the ribs can take a lot of force flat, but they do not take good force at an angle. So an up angle or a down angle will crack the ribs, whereas a flat angle won't. So doing wood off this way, you feel that?
Yeah.
Feels a lot different than doing this. It's a total different feeling. It does not feel good. Okay? So the application immediately becomes obvious. Okay? Now from here, there's different things I can do. I can do the brace and all stuff like that, fine. But just from right here, you have your throw. If I go to the classic lock dot situation, I go over the top instead. Right, and here, grab the throw, tear, face, whatever, now go to the next opponent. Or I can take it back around this corner. Okay? There's a lot of things you can do. But by recognizing the first step is the application. The application isn't here, the application isn't here. The application starts when I move this foot. Okay? So that will make a lot more sense. What's the next one? Okay, so ward off. And I can show 5 different applications after that. Let's go into the second ward off. So I just did this. So let's just say this is opponent 1. He's going to punch, flying, bang, bang, bang. I clear him. He's gone. So now he's done. Okay, I ripped his eyes out. I cracked the rib. Whatever I did, he's recovered. Guy number 2 comes. He's coming from this corner. This is 1. He's my second guard. Now from here, there's different things we can do. If I get him crosshand from here, I can ride in, grab his face. Okay, hit, hair. Remember that it's snake and hawk or crane. So the hand is a utility palm. And while it's only shown to be a flat tile palm and the bird beak, which is either 2, correct version is actually 2 to 3, right, 3 fingers, and then these would work together and they kind of bind in, but these are not functional. Like you'll see the bird beak like this, but the reality is that the real pressure is in these fingers, and these are just like getting into the mix. And you have the mantis style and the other hands, but it's a utility palm. So you can think of it as snake and hawk or snake and crane, and most of that will make more sense. Oh, yeah, because the taijutsu is basically the observation of the mathematical manifestations of the matrix, of the demiurge, whatever this reality is. Nothing in this world can exist outside of the yin-yang. You know, it's not possible. Everything is yin-yang. And if you want to end the New Age gender ideology, the Taiji automatically does that. Automatically.
I wish more people would get that.
We're not going to get into that right now. The point being is that you can't go away from math. The math of the universe is the Taiji. And that's why the Taiji is such a big issue, because from the 1 comes the 2, from the 2 comes the 3, from the 3 comes all things. How do you have a style that has so many offshoots You have 50 different versions of Taekwondo, right? Now it's just shitty Korean kickboxing. But it still looks like the original Taekwondo I did in Chuck Norris. Right? You can see like modern karate, sport karate, it looks like a game and some weird pity pat shit, but it still has a connection. When you look at the Tai Chi derivative systems, how are they related? It doesn't make sense, right? But when you understand the internal principle, I mean the foundational building block, it perfectly makes sense. Because all it is the concept of how things flow. It's like feng shui. You know, like, well, feng shui for the white people. Okay? So, yes, everything is Tai Chi. Everything is Tai Chi. You can't get away from it. You know? Like 2 ears, 2 eyes, you know what I mean? 2 nostrils, on the top of the mouth, bottom of the mouth, you know? You have like the void in your mouth, your tongue. You can just keep going, on and on. You know? So, it is what it is. Okay, going into that, let's do applications. Let's work on some rollback stuff. Okay, so just I guess a grab, for instance. Okay, fine. So I break the grab, and now I obviously can do the dolly thing and roll him away. If he comes with, if I'm in this position, he comes with that hand, I have the arm break, which is obvious. Okay. How I think of it in striking is a horizontal palm strike. I'm going to show you the video where you're punching the side. That's just attack the radial nerve or attack the bicep. I like to get here, right? Here, depending, or here. Okay?
Yeah.
So if I hit that, it sends a wave down to your thumb. So, hold this. So if I say hit you, you find your thumb like I'm? Okay? If I hit you full force, that thumb wants to release. Because the way the nerve travels out the arm. Hold it. Now, watch this. You find your thumb opened up?
Yeah.
It's really hard. You're really trying to keep that, right? So that nerve attack is one of the things. The way I did it, he said, touch the feet. Well, I can't speak for Adam Minter and numbers, even though I was offered to see his classes, I purposely did not, because I did not want anybody to say I stole from anybody, like people steal from me. So, what I'd like this to say is that I think what he means is going into the kinesthetic interoception of feeling his root and his base. So this is push hand level. So push hand stuff, we're rolling. I don't want to just be working on the outside and rolling here. I want to immediately connect inside his frame. Personally, I don't want to grab his feet. I want to grab his skeleton in one of these 3 places. I want to grab him here, here, or here. Because they don't automatically grab his feet for me. I think what he's saying is to connect the pressure to felt that. Like if you're resisting or you put pressure on him, I can see now I'm in his foot, right? But for me to move him and get an effect, I need to project my energy on a horizontal linear path. So I think what he's saying is to grab his base by filling up his energy. How I would look at it is to fill up his structure with my wave, my force, but to get his feet involved, like to fill up to the point where his whole structure is connected. So I don't think, I mean, because I've seen his techniques, I'm assuming it's similar concepts, just different words. I would just tend to believe that he's saying fill up the entire system with compression, right? And compression doesn't have to be weak, compression can just be the wave force, you know, or just my mass touching his frame. But I want him to see, I want him to feel that I'm not just locally putting pressure in the shoulder or putting pressure in the upper body. I want his whole body down to his feet. That's what I'm assuming he thinks. But again, I don't know the guy, I've never seen his classes, so the best interpretation from my side is if I'm like, you know, rolling, I want to, you know, once I fill him up, you see how his feet, or can you see his feet? Yeah, maybe from that angle might be good. So playing, come at you. Right, so here, you see how his feet, I'm loading him up so much that his feet are connected to me. Right? Now I can do that from inside and make it look like I'm not moving. But when I fill him up, this is too, well, I wanted him to see the pressure on the feet.
Yeah.
You know, it was literally the feet are looking at, not me. The idea of filling is, I look at it, it took me a long time to understand this. I look at it as if my bone marrow is filling up like a balloon, like a tube man. But I fill up so much that it fills up to my skin level. And now I feel like I'm this balloon. So that's my internal shell.
But his question
I'm just
actually
saying-
is being felt right
Right,
now.
you-
I can feel it.
You can feel,
My
so,
feet, yeah.
right. So you can feel
Like
it.
you're already affecting my feet right now.
That's what I'm saying, is like I don't go for his feet,
It's a natural.
but when I fill up completely, first I fill up myself and try to disconnect, and keep going, and then I fill up, and now I go, it's so hard for me not to do this into you. But now I connect into him,
Yeah.
and
I
now,
feel it
now
right
I'm
now.
filling up into his bones, and I've inflated him to the point where his entire system is hyper expanded, and now his pressure's in his feet also. So I'm assuming that's what he means, but I can't say for certain. I don't want to speak for other people. But I think it comes out of the concept of filling up the person, right? You first fill up your body like a balloon, where it's not like I'm just stretching and reaching. It's I'm literally feeling my bone marrow, like an exercise is enough. I don't care about fascia, I care about bone marrow and sinew. I want to feel my bones gonna melt like nothing, and I'm gonna blow it up the balloon. And now my bones are filled up. But it's been so many years, I do this naturally. As soon as you touch me, I made your system part of my system. So I feel like you're part of my own now.
Well, like a question. I can ask the question kind of similar to how he's going to ask the question. Or when you're collapsed again, like you were, right? And if I'm actually using me or physical power, using muscle, how are you able to bypass through to fill this up? Say I'm stronger than you.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
First level of any good Tai Chi to me is the standing pal and bone frame. So before anything, I have to get it so that when he pushes on me, push on that, and lean your body weight on it. So you see how it's bending? And the staff will bend. What I want to happen is I want to get you to go directly into that line with no deviation. So what I'm doing is first I connect my internal bone structure in such a way that no matter how much force you give me, go on, I find the line. Now that I found the line, I'm good. See what I'm saying? I'm just chilling here. Make sense? Because I've already found that line and negate your power.
Okay.
Now from here, when I
So
sit,
if I keep pushing.
I'm going to show you, keep going. You keep pushing, pushing. All right, good. Okay, go. My back's a little fucked up. That's good. I'll help you beat up. Go. Okay, so fine. All right, here you're pushing, good. Now I'm going to relax. I'm going to go to the bone puppet thing, go. And now you've negated. Then I'm going to change the axis. So I split your power, change the axis, and I change the position. So this is a big way of showing it to you. Okay? We'll make sure you're using enough force to move on fucking cheating the last. Okay? Really push. Get me out. Get me. Okay, good. Okay. So now I'm going to do that again. If I find the axis, I change the line, I split it, open them up like this, relax, breathe in, open up. Okay? So, watch, push. So I get it all off, right? First I find the line where I negate his force, then I change the axis, and then I just have to breathe in. Okay? I want to make sure they can see that you're actually pushing me.
I'm pushing you on.
Fuck right, Demon Slayer. As you would say, if you learn how to use the ground, it's having the earth on your side. Now right now I had a car accident in 2007, and my lower back's been acting up recently, so like sacrum is a mess, so I gotta be careful. But as long as you can get that line, okay, so here, I find the line. Now what I do here is I settle and sink the chi. I bring my air to my pelvic floor. That changes the axis. He's pushing on. See what I'm saying? So even just the act of me breathing and settling is going to change the XY axis very slight. That's part of it. So I have find the bones, get the bone line, then I change the axis and settle. And I flow. Okay? So it's pneumatic. So first is pneumatic, then it's hydraulic. First it's air, then it's liquid. Is what I'm looking to do. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, no way.
Okay. What's the next one? Let's do some G. So G is interesting, there's a whole bunch of good ones. But this is G. Okay? Sandwich. You make your entire, right, you're not your opponent's opponent, you make the entire ground, yes. I'm not even here. But I'm actually really doing this, and we're playing for real. You want to get into the Japanese, they say mushin, which is like the no mind state. So we're playing, oh, I'm not helping you. Now I'm going to relax my mind so I'm not even here. Okay? So at this point, I'm not trying to beat him, I'm just observing what's happening, and my only goal is to keep my awareness of the structure. Fine. Next, as Alama Dongi says, I don't want to be separate from him, where it's oil and water. I want to be salt and water. So next level is, I combine, and now his body is my body. So now at this point, he is me. He pushes, he's pushing right through me as if I am my own push. It's literally one unit. Okay? So, it's exactly what the master I think said. Exactly the same thing. But then, on the attack phase, the one who gets there first, I'm sorry, you go first, I get there first. The way that this works in fighting is, you have a circle and a line. When the line is played first, the circle wins. When the circle is played first, the line wins. Okay? So, you come with a straight punch, I end your circle. But to attack him, I have to have a linear line. Because life is a circle, and to end life, you cut the circle. Very simple young principle, right? Is if life is in the cosmic egg, which is yin, if I want to kill it, I have to go young and cut the line. Cut the egg in half. But the idea is that the opponent must move first. The opponent leads. There's this guy, Rokas, like Roax, whatever his name is. He's this like martial journey, remember this? And he does Aikido. It's the ground that you are literally become one with the earth. So the opponent goes into the earth. Same as when I showed the pole idea. But we're talking about the circle of line. So when he's attacking, even in classical karate, we do block is a circle, but the impact's a line to do damage. You feel? Mm-hmm. Okay. Once I have that, his sphere of life is a circle, and I have to cut through it to his spine to end it. Right? So if you notice, all the attacks in Tai Chi start linear, but you must make the round straight and a straight round. So in normal classical karate, when you hit, it's the same power as Tai Chi. The difference is at the end, you don't retract because the energy dies. You have a small circle. I hit him, but then I circle out just a little bit. So after the impact, I just glance over, and that allows me to keep the combat flow. Right. So that's what you do. Like, and that's when you see me start scoring from Wing Chun. Right? You start to see that kind of action. Okay? So it's, yeah. Okay, you're really good for me. I want to see if that's even too fast for the camera, because a lot of people will complain I'm too fast for the camera. Yeah, maybe it's too fast. I have to slow down. I have to slow down. I can't see that. Come here. Okay? Now, a lot of the attacking, while the modern style uses the Tao palm, there's several palms that I'll use for doing the form. One is like this, the other one is the lion mouth. The lion mouth is the most practical of the open palm style. So when it comes, I'm going to hit him with the thumb into the mastoid, cut the vagus nerve like this. So you have all these strikes happening at once. There's also a lot of incidental damage that's done. So like if I hit him, let's do it this way. So I'm not going to just hit him, dot, and stab. But I'm going to dot, stab, brush, and twist. So it's cut. There's all these little things that are happening at once. It's very devious. So when you come in, I can stab, tear, rip, brush through, all in one motion. One go. So as he's passing through, see, I'm already doing horrible shit. Okay? So just the idea of brushing through like a snake passing you. Right? This glancing blow. If you're on the ground, let's just say I'm going to mount, right? Later. So I have him mounted, right? And can you see this back up? Right. It can be mounted, it can be side control, whatever it is, assembly side control, right? So I'm here. Instead of me trying to elbow him this way, this isn't a cage match. I'm going to put my hand in his throat, and I'm going to grind to my elbow. Okay? So this brushing effect, or go into his eyes and grind over his nose. So I'm just going to grind through, like a saw blade. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of that brushing technique is the idea, okay? Because this isn't an honorable fight. Okay, this is an animal that's eating its prey. I'm a snake. I'm just like, what do you call it? You mix the different animals together to get that.
You know what's
chimera.
You know what's funny? You should say this too. Which the same argument that people are having for Tai Chi actually should be the same argument that people are having for Jiu-Jitsu. Because when they're on the ground, they're playing the
Right.
same way. Because they're not doing what you just described.
Right. Well, it's not that they're playing, it's just that they're having an honorable competition where there's rules of engagement. Right? ROE, you have to have a certain rule set.
Yeah.
Right? Geneva Convention type shit. Can't use napalm. Okay?
Right.
Okay? So there's certain things you're not allowed to do because of honor.
Right.
There's no honor in the street. Let me tell you, in the hood, there's no honor. And after like 1999, it's over. The end of Wu-Tang was the end of honor in the hood. Wu-Tang was the fighting moment. Wu-Tang ended, everything else is shit. Everything after that time frame, the whole world's corrupt.
The Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah. Wu-Tang can't handle fuck with it. But that was like the last generation that people had honor. Right? Now, like, people, they'll punch you, you're not looking for no reason, they'll stab you in the back, they'll rob an old lady. There's no honor. Okay? So you gotta understand the rules of engagement. Who are you playing against? Why are you playing against? You can't disrespect Jiu-Jitsu, because Jiu-Jitsu has a lot of epic things going on. But who's the young guy who has the channel? He's the young Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy on YouTube all the time. He has a school. But he even, Jiu-Jitsu is a great martial art, blah, blah, blah. But he even confirmed like exactly what I've been saying. You don't have 10 seconds. If I'm outside, I get you in that mount control thing,
Mm-hmm.
I have two options. I have to get you flipped over on your face and get you controlled and subdued and be able to protect myself, or I have to break you.
Right.
I have to make sure that you are not getting up. So if I get you down the ground and whatever, sweet, fine, okay. And I get to this position, I'm not going down there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good night.
Good night. Or more realistically, is I'm going to take his elbow to the shoulder, roll him over, and get him into a rest position. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and play jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I have to get in a position where I'm looking around, where's the next guy? Somebody else break this, go. Okay? I'm literally going to take this and snap this fucker over like a twig, break his wrist, and look for the next person while I'm doing it. I do not have time in the field to be playing this game when I'm teaching people that work in these kind of industries. I can't teach them this jiu-jitsu bullshit. Like, I teach like the basics, and I always say go train with them because they know a lot. about escapes and all this stuff, but unless you're a cop who has to work in that realm, you don't have the luxury to play that game. Okay, I'm gonna take you down, I'm gonna smash your head to the concrete. Because it's how many other people are coming. I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
True.
You know, and this is what it is. I have to make sure that you're not getting back up. And it's not like I'm a terrible person. I don't like violence. I tell everybody I want to just sit at home, my bad back, drink some sweet tea on the porch. I don't care, but the thing is, it's evil in the world. And you've seen this one evil, you have to deal with the reality. So going back to G. So I do this coil from Liu, I grab his head, and then bang. In the classical application theory, there's something called sealing the breath. So I'll come with the left hand. Okay? So I'm going to hold this back, and then, so he has nowhere to go. Okay? From here. That's the application of G. So, exactly, Jason, exactly. It's garbage. It's complete garbage. I don't want to say the style's garbage, but I'm sorry to say this, and God bless these guys, but too many world-class jiu-jitsu guys have died because of their theory. And you can look on YouTube and see it in the newspapers. It's not like I'm being a dick, you know? I love the sport, I have respect for these guys. But whenever you get into a closed system of people, look at the Tai Chi community. You know, it's an echo chamber. And then you forget, and then you think, oh, I'm a world champion. In the street, no one cares.
True.
Okay? In the street, nobody cares. And you have 5 guys who don't care, who just have dignity strength. You know? Pulls, guarding, and stabbing, exactly. Exactly. If you get on the ground in the street, and you wind up on the ground like this, and don't mind my old man bad back, you know what you should do? Come on. That's what you do, okay? You go monkey crazy, and you start kicking everything, like a maniac, okay?
You're not letting them approach.
Just like an 8-year-old girl that just had a freaking tantrum, you took her Barbie away. Okay? You just go, like, kick everything possible. Okay? And when you see like a stand up to guard, you want to kick it like a fucking mule. You don't just want to be like, oh, let me get up. No, I want to kick him in the fucking kneecap before I do that. Okay? Like, I wanna, no. You're 101 rules, it's great. But depends on where and when and how. Whenever possible, look. There's no better ending to a fight than knocking somebody out. Okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no instant ending to a fight in jiu-jitsu. Classical jiu-jitsu, like I learned, there's strikes. So when I do a lock, for instance, I don't just do a lock. I was taught, I smack him in the eyeball, break the wrist, break the arm, grab the neck, bring him down. That's jiu-jitsu that I learned. For the street. Right? But break this. Break this. Okay, right? Break this. Break this. So I wind up in positions where he's being broken to pieces. So, and there's a lot of applications for that in Tai Chi also. What's it called? Old man carries fish on his back. I think it's called. The old man carries the fish on a stick or something. That's literally the application name. I forget the name of it. God damn it.
Carry tiger around?
No, it's literally
Fish.
old man carries fish on back. Or a fish with a stick on the back. It's something with fish and an old man. I'm sorry I don't remember all the names. But here I rotate, I get him into this lock here, and then I bring him over my back. That's actually a Tai Chi application. I think it's in Dr. Young's course. I think. Please forgive me, I don't remember all the names of stuff, guys. It's been so many years, no one's ever asked.
So the great thing about what we're going over today is, practicality-wise, all this study and practice in the Woo should be like put to the side, and more application should be practiced.
No, I'll explain that later. So let me get to Jason's question after. When you're learning applications, you have theoretical application, and then you have like, how do I explain this? This theoretical application is like applied application. Yeah, and there's a realistic in free flow. So you relearn, you punch out the right hand like karate. I 1, 2, 3, sweep. Okay, fine. That's textbook, right? Like for theory, angles and alignment. In real life, he may do, and I may step over, and the angles change, right? So I have to adapt it. Okay? How it looks in real life is not going to be exactly the textbook. It's the same when you're doing a touch from a baseball. If I do the baseball swing, when the ball comes, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be there. It's going to change. It's not going to look like the perfect swing. It's supposed to. Okay? So he's asking how to show joint lock by grabbing the forearm. Well, yes and no. So what happens is, I can't do a joint lock without grabbing a joint. However, how I've been teaching joint locks for 20 years, I don't attack the joint, I attack the forearm first. But I do this so fast you don't see it. So punch. So when I go into this joint lock, the way I get to the joint is I track. Because there's no fucking way, throw a jab with the left hand, I can't just grab his hand. I mean, throw it fast. Right? And switch feet because normal people switch. Right? I'm not going to do that. But I do this. Right, go ahead. It's very difficult. So what do? I go fucking track and follow. So what you're doing is, or if you grab me, I go, oops. You feel that? Mm-hmm. So the way that it's done is, this is the palm shape I use. And when I link to his arm a little sore, I'm going to ride until I feel the joint, and then I lock in. So it's mostly my middle finger supported by the ring finger. And then from there is when I start to apply. So if he's missing his hand, I would go for the elbow. And it would depend is, does he still have the lateral condyle? Meaning does he have the bump on the wrist? So if he has his hand chopped off, but he still has the bump on the wrist, I do the same technique. Where I would grab, track to the bone, and I would use this to manipulate the lever from the shoulder to the elbow. So, but again, all of my joint lock principles come from the fact that I'm never going to be fast enough to grab that, right? And on top of it, when he knows about the real lock on him, don't let me do it. See, he's going to fight me. So I have to be able to follow and track him. And this is I was going to say, like I started talking about the Rokas guy, Rokas, the Aikido guy. Mm-hmm. The reason his Aikido doesn't work is because of yoga loop and him wanting to get the effect. Yes, exactly, Jason. So wanting to get the effect. He goes to the jerk lock. I see the lock. And then the guy recognizes it. His mind's like, I'm staying on this, or a Soro, Gary, whatever the fuck you call it. And he's like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. The guy's already ahead. He's already beaten this. But his mind is beyond reality. He's like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. And his mind, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my jerk lock. I'm going to do my jerk lock. It's not how it works. The opponent leads. So I go for the first jerk lock. He resists. So I follow his resistance. Ouch. You okay?
No. That just hurt. Crunch.
Probably needed that.
Maybe.
Okay? Slower. So I follow his resistance, and that's where I get the lock from. Okay? If I try to resist,
Almost 50.
my master was 65 and going harder than we're going. Okay? So when I try to find, and so am I. I'm something like I have no great hand than you do. Okay? So, when I'm trying to do the lock, when I go to pull, and he resists, if I try to, it's not going to happen. So I follow his resistance. Let's say he resists that. I follow that resistance. And I keep following resistance until he can't get out. But I don't get stuck when a moment gets passed. He has to learn the technique, which is why you need to have a library of steps. Like, and I Jiu-Jitsu like 20 years ago, I don't remember the most. But there's a sequence when you get like side control, knee on belly, this thing. There's a progression. In Aikido, there should be the same progression, where if I go for this lock, he goes and I go for this lock. But if that doesn't work, I go for this lock. And if that doesn't work, I go for this lock. And I'm trying to let him put himself in the cage so I can lock it. Not me forcing the line in the cage. I have 5 cages set up. I'm chasing the line around to see which cage he's going to go into.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets to one in the cage, he goes in. That's how you do the grappling occasion. That's the theory that's actually how you get to work. Okay? Any questions? Then no, I'm rambling. Did I miss anybody? Oh, you train Aikido also? Okay, good. So you understand what I'm saying. So I'm familiar with Aikido, but I only know it because of Aki Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't actually do any Aikido. But I've seen it, and I'm familiar with the concept. Right? But the mistake this Rocast guy is doing, Aikido doesn't work. No, you train like an idiot. You're training against the principle because your mind in the OODA loop, you're outside of reality. You're thinking of an event that's already happened. It's gone. It's like, I'm going to hit him with a left hook. I'm going to do a check hook. I'm going to do a check hook. And I go and he's not there. He's just not there anymore. So what do? Because you're so set on the technique. Instead of following what he's giving you. So we're moving, right? I don't think. It's you gave me that.
Yeah. I was open there, yeah.
Right, so we're exploring whatever. You're giving me the technique. Right? So I'll do like Wenjin, it's like asking. So I'll throw a technique to ask.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, you hit that. Okay? But once I ask, you want to see you didn't go that way. You want the other hand. You backhand pound. Right? See, it's a totally different setup. So now I have this. Right? I'm asking him. Oh, nice. So you don't, okay, you really know your shit. Good. What exactly is a temi? I've heard the word before, but I'm not sure exactly what. I am terrible with terminology. Terrible. I'm great with remembering applications, but remembering words and like serial, I'm so bad, guys. I can't be good at everything. I'm sorry. I try my best, but I just can't remember all the terms. Too many concussions. But that's the idea. You want to be flowing with the opponent, let him tell you where to go. Right? Yes, exactly. That's exactly my point with this Rocast guy. And I hope that, what's his name? Oh my God, my brain just fried. The MMA guy that did the keto. He's really freaking good. He has a channel. Oh my God. Like stocky guy, round face, boulder looking dude. He does a keto also. We talk shit about the Rocast guy.
Is his name Dan Wolf?
Dan the Wolfman. That guy's awesome. That's the guy. Yeah. Tell him I said it. Tell him that. Because this Rocast guy, this is a mistake. You can't chase the technique. You have to let the technique chase you. It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter if you're boxing or anything. Like, yeah, if you can overpower, overspeed the guy, but even still, he's setting you up for that. Yeah, Dan the Wolfman's the man. I love his channel. Yeah, so now you're calling into setups and traps, but that's leading, and even then, you're still letting him control the situation. Because if I bait him, so like, for example, sparring, right? You see what I just did?
Yeah.
That check fake?
Mm-hmm.
I just loaded him up. But the way he responds to my load, I can't force that. You know what I mean? So there's certain things.
Everybody reply different.
Right. So I can do that check fake and get you to load up.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So that little kind of thing is, I think, what he's saying. But the point is, I still have to let him decide. Because if unless I can just overpower him or crush through him, what he's done doesn't matter. It's like a classical karate type of thing. I don't care what you're doing. When I go into karate defense mode, you pick your hands up, smash, smash! I don't care what's there. You have to be strong enough to stop
Whether
me.
you hit me here or here or here.
I'm going to destroy,
It doesn't matter.
like full Super Saiyan mode. But, let's go! You know what I mean? And we're gonna go, and I'm going to crush you. That's karate, the way I learned it. Like indomitable spirit. You're in my way, and I'm gonna break you. And I don't care what you're throwing. Okay? I'm going through you. And this is no joke. Okay? You can feel the energy shift. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
Like if you start to like vibrate and you find your own fire.
Yeah, you're going into Super Saiyan 1.
Yeah, it's literally what it feels like. And it's like, the body feels different. Like I start going to the shell, and like, I'm going to crush through you and something you don't understand. You know what I mean? So what you're doing is irrelevant to me. Because every piece of your body is a target, I'm going to smash it. The smash. Tai Chi has this ability. That's the full Yang side of Tai Chi. When I go into crush mode,
Your intent changes.
the intent changes. That instant, it's just every part of my being and the entire earth. I'm going to gather the earth and throw the earth at you. Okay? That's literally, it's like,
Good luck.
it's like I'm gonna grab the earth and a fireball and throw a freaking like an asteroid at you. That's what it means, dude. Exactly. There's nothing to do with this kind of energy other than get out of the way or attack first. So when you go into this mode of warrior and indomitable spirit mode, and I set my mind. You are just a target that's been destroyed. And anything you touch me with, I'm going to kill it. And I'm not talking just like, no. You pick your hand up, I'm going to smash your hand as hard as I possibly can. Okay? I'm going to smash your knee as hard as I can. Anything that comes in my radius, I'm going to tear it off or crush it or just make it nothing. Okay? That's karate how I learned it. There's no mercy, it's just destroy.
As soon as I come off the guard, you're just...
Just smash!
Bam.
As soon as you pick that
You
hand
don't care
up,
about the face, you're just gonna...
no. Imagine a steamroller with teeth that's going to grind as it goes through. So when you pick that hand up, I'm going to break this hand and break your head, then break it again, then break it again, then break it again. It's hard, and it is not like, it's another mindset. It's just, I want to just tear, and it's a place you don't want to go.
Right.
And it's not good for your body and your mind, because you have to see, you can feel like I'm going to that level, you can feel it at the state change. You feel the energy and wind change.
Well, now you're beat.
But that's Lee.
Yeah.
That's Lee. When people say you're using Lee, you don't know what Lee is.
Right.
If I show you Lee, you'll only see it once.
Right. You don't want to experience me.
You don't want to see it. But the thing is, it's very bad for your body. Okay? And doing it too long, your organs will melt. It's like there's governors in your body. There's like in a car.
Yeah.
And we're taught to break those governors. And this is like the real closed door,
Well,
real
that's
stuff.
what ends up happening too is at the moment you don't feel any of the impact on yourself. The person is.
I can
after
feel-
the fight, then you're like, oh shit.
No, I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. Like literally nothing. Like when I go to that level, it's whether it's a brick or it's nothing. There's nothing there. You're just an object that's already destroyed. But to get to that level of training and what it does to your body, because it's meant for warfare where you're supposed to die. If you make it to 50 years old, you're lucky. Which is why I have so many problems. Because there's this limiting system, these governor vessels that close the chi, which is the electrical currents and the blood flow and the endorphins and adrenaline. So I have all kinds of problems with that. Like, adrenaline fatigue, organs are not right because of doing that. Bringing your mind to this state where the mitochondria reacts different. And if you stay in that, double heavy fire your whole life, your body just dissolves.
Yeah.
Because it can't regenerate. It's not, it's like you're literally, it's like your kamikaze mission. You're going to crash and burn, and it's like a nuclear explosion. Anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the karma. That's the karma. To go and do that kind of damage, you have to be willing to, you're going to lose yourself. You know what I mean? And this is why Tai Chi is so important for harsh styles to go into in the later years. Because you have to have that
The
water
recovery and the recovery. Yeah.
Right, it's exactly the same as Charlie Foot. It's exactly the same, you know what I mean? It's just that what I was taught, so the internal mechanism is different, where you're psychologically going to your reptilian brain. You can feel it like something, dude, it's a different energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just death. My master said that you look me in the eyes, and the opponent sees death, and it's theirs. And it's just a look, and you understand it. It's
Yeah,
not.
so it's like it's almost like gets kind of scary. Like, oh,
Yeah.
do I want to go here or
No.
do I just want to leave?
Most of the time, I can say that I've ended fights before they started because they can feel.
Right.
They can feel the level it's going to.
It's like, do you want to sign this waiver before we get started? Because you're about to get.
You're about to
destroyed.
get. You're not. And it's a place I don't talk about because the general public doesn't understand it. They can't handle it. But that's what classical, real closed-door martial arts is. Like you have to get to that level where you are the Yama, you are the destroyer, you know, like the ruler of hell, and you come to collect souls, right? Because we're the guardians. Okay, we're the Buddhist-like warrior guardians, and we're supposed to protect the ones who can't protect themselves, so that they can ascend to the higher realms. So one of us has to be the demon.
Yeah.
Somebody has to invoke the Yama and become the ruler of hell and snatch souls who deserve to go to hell. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas others get to play Amitabha and Kuan Yin, some of us have to become the warrior attendant or the devil himself and take those souls for retribution. And to get to that understanding and invoke those kind of deities is a level of energy that the average person can't comprehend and their philosophy can't understand it. That make sense? It's extremely karmic action. And when you go to that place, you're not even alive. I can't explain to you what happens when you go there. Like you don't exist. You just feel like fire. And you're just tearing things apart. And there's nothing, it gets to a point where you're just an animal. You're just this animal. There's nothing left. There's nothing left of your soul.
Then when you come out and you see the finished result, you're like, man, did I do that? Oh shit.
Right. To be honest, Joe, the best person to show you the Tai Chi kicking techniques is actually Shirley. Her technique is almost perfect, okay? And you just gotta remember that it's just a check swing. All you gotta do is speed it up and have the intent to go through. But I'll go over the theory again of like how to enter the kicks, right? So in any type of kick, are you puking again? Oh my God, what did you eat when I was asleep in the stomach? What is wrong with you? Jesus. He likes to lick the carpet and the two of them. This one's licking his ass and coughing up fur balls. He's licking the fur balls and it's a never-ending cycle of picking up puke. So, more important is the entries, right? My back is really messed up, guys, so my technique's not gonna be perfect, but you're gonna see the entries, right? Every time I step is a kick. If I'm stepping in the beginning of the form application, he's siding me, this is a kick. And let me tell you something. Kick somebody in the shin bone with shoes on and straight down. This is one of the very basic foundational things, like when you're in a combat situation, right? I'm just gonna step on his shin and graze down. That feels so terrible. It just feels like not good. I'm just touching you, it doesn't feel good. Right? But if you have shoes on, you just graze.
Yeah, just go whoosh.
The first kick in classical karate, taekwondo, is called side kick in place, which is basically the side kick to the knee of the shin. The first thing we ever teach. First move of the Tai Chi form is a side step. Step on his foot, break his ankle. Kicking number one. Kick number two. Or knee check on, let's do the open the form punch. So I'm here, and he steps through, right? When I make this turn, I have that knee bump, okay? That's also a little thing. Every time the knee comes up, I can point it at my T-band. Right?
I
That's
won the race last night. The Charlie horse.
And I just touched you, right? And I'm giving you a hand, I want you to understand how light I touched you. Okay?
Yeah.
But when you're accurate, the whole leg is like, oh, fuck me. I know it hurts, but you're not gonna die. Okay? You have to feel these things, otherwise, like, one thing I learned from jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu is that you have to feel the pain of the lock. Same as when you do like, OC training, like you pepper spray, you have to get maced in the face.
Well, when I was in the military, we had to do that.
Oh, so you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to feel it. You have to go through it. It just is what it is. Okay? So, anyway, we have that. Okay, what were you in the military? The Coast Guard?
Navy.
Navy. Okay. So, over here, fine. I have that little knee chuck. When I go and make that turn, and he goes to kick, I have this check. And if you notice, a lot of the, I have to stop him before I go on the kicking. I want to go over how you block in Tai Chi. First way you should learn how to block is a static impact catch. Okay? This is not the level of where you should be as an expert or whatever. But he throws, let's say, a left hook, a hook, this way.
Oh.
I need to be able to do that. Where I catch with my humerus bone and he runs into it. The goal is to be able to catch and then roll the energy off. Okay? So the highest level of Wu and Yin side is he does that punch and I roll with it. So I catch it, but at the moment before the impact starts, I start my roll and that diffuses the energy. But level 1, you need to be able to smash. He runs into a post, he runs into the earth breaks his arm. After that break, initial impact, I can still, if I'm fast enough, I can take the energy. At the highest level, I can choose to take the energy and roll it somewhere else. That level of time sensitivity is so difficult, right? It's so difficult that for the first year, you should be teaching static square form where I have a normal block. And I go, bang! Okay? This is very important. The reason why I'm bringing this circle thing up is because you'll see this in Systema, and the way I was taught about Systema is that, I'm not saying this is true, this is the legend I was taught. 2 prison guards in Russia, one was a Chen Tai Chi master, one was a Sambo guy. They got together and created Systema with some kind of like physicist professor guy. That's the story that I got. It's Chen style with Sambo and Russian science. And you know how those guys can they're like Japanese guys in the ghetto. They're like little geniuses, but like ghetto geniuses. They make things out of tin cans.
Like
MacGyver shit. So when you watch this spin here, and he goes this kick, I'm going to catch it and roll and almost do this. Right? It's almost like this loop thing. So when I catch it, I'm going to open up that way. Okay? It's one way of looking at the catch. The kicks are always there. So once I bring my knee up for any step I have this check. I mean every step. If you see me play push-ups a lot when we're rolling, and for some reason I break off, you'll see me do this. You've seen me do this 100 times, right? Where I break off, and now I do this step to clear the lower gate. Okay? So I have the upper and the lower sections. I want to make sure I have this space, but this is to me in play fight. Thank you. So, in play fighting, just push hands with friends, I do this to clear the space as a marker. But in reality, and I've done this, I'm going to kick him in the knee, kick him in the thigh, kick him in the balls. Right? So he picks his hand, I'm going to grab him, I'm going to step like this. And this is like my go-to. I've done this 1,000 times. Okay? Where if I can get this top hand inside, I'm just going to grab the already here. This for me is so natural. Okay? Which is also single whip application. But the kicking application, for the most part, is done from the solar plexus down. But it doesn't mean that Tai Chi doesn't kick high. Because you have the high kicks all the time. Okay? They're there. But the thing is that in order of operations, they're the least useful. In combat range, right? So you go up there? You gotta go? Okay. Every time you show up, he doesn't feel good. It's always raining. I'm seeing a pattern.
No.
I'm seeing a pattern. So,
Do I bring the rain?
you gotta start making it rain. So, alright, so you throw, whatever, I'm gonna go with the kicks. So I want you to think of every time I bring this knee up, I have a front toe kick and I have a stomp. And they can work together or separate interchangeably. So I can throw this toe kick every time I step. I can throw this stomp every time I step. Same as you can do, you have a stomp and a cross stomp. Same thing, okay? However, any kick that can be thrown down here can be thrown up here. Okay? What I will say that should be universal Tai Chi and regular hustle, Korean karate is what in the legend called a no shadow kick. The no shadow kick literally just means I don't allow him to see these four corners move at all. So most people when they set the kick, they'll be at least something. A wind up, no, I just kick. So from your angle, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm here, the kick's already in your face. There's nothing for you to see. You see what I'm saying? So learning these kicks like this, right?
It also builds strength.
It builds strength, but that's not the point. The point is in combat speed, you don't see anything. You just get blasted in the mouth. Okay? So you can kick people in the face. No, you can't kick people in the face in the fight, trust me. Okay? And I've knocked out people when I was a kid. I was like 16. I told this story about corner pockets. You guys are from Brooklyn. If you remember corner pockets pole hole on Avenue U in West 5th, I was like 15 years old. I knocked out this freaking jarhead bodybuilding Marine guy who picked me up on my fucking neck, spun me around. I blasted in the face with a round stick. I was a little kid. Right? It works. I was like 160 pounds at most. This guy was at least 220, like just a goon. And, you know, so it works. Right. So I think to add to that and clarify is whoever has command over the range. Because it's more about understanding distance and reach and what to do. So I started off being a little guy, but I made sure to train to the gross works. I heard the older masters saying the worst thing to do to a kid is get them a black belt by 14. They go through puberty, start liking boys and girls, and they forget about karate. They go through this growth spurt, and they come back in their 20s and 30s. The motor memory is programmed for a little 8-year-old body, and they come back as an adult, and they move like baby puppies, and they always quit, or they always look like DTs. So it's very important to train through that. I'm bringing that because I got to train through my growth spurt. So I know what it's like to fight as a little guy against big guys. I know how to fight against the big guys with slow guys. And I also started understanding this range problem, because I have great range, I have really good reach. A lot more reach than I look like I have. Okay? I can still hit you from here, I can still hit you from here. You know what I'm saying? I have a decent amount of range. But understanding that distance and really have command over is more important. Right. And being able to open and close the joints properly, because that really is that. What I'm saying for the application point in video is understanding your use of range and distance and when it's important to play which side. If I'm playing as a tall guy, I have a distinct advantage, not let you in. But I must understand my trapping game, which is why I spent years learning this trapping, because I understand, oh shit, I'm now 6'3". I'm taller than 99% of the population. I'm always going to be fighting guys who turn like little T-Rex arms. So I know how to deal with this. And shorten everything up.
Yeah.
You see? I have to. And then also that I was working, I went from working outside doing security to working inside in clubs where people will be on top of you here.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to control things from this position. You know what I mean? And I'm tall, and I'm lanky in that way. I had to make sure I had that range under control. So that's why the Tai Chi is amazing at that. Tai Chi is literally teaches you that its best attribute that teaches you in flow is how to deal in this trapping range when nobody feels comfortable to play. Don't say T-Rex arms. Actually, I use the T-Rex arms as my weapon. Is when I get into that range, I go with the T-Rex arm, I literally do that. I used to call it. And I put my elbow on my ribs, so now I'm protecting my ribs and my liver, so you can't punch me in the liver, right? But I also have all my strikes.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's how I learned to guard that, because he wants to punch me in my liver or my kidneys or like that. I'm in this space already, and I still have my frame. So it's a little trick that I go into. I go into this little shell. Yeah, don't make me, don't make me.
The advanced turtle shell.
But that's how I do it. Yeah, it's a really good thing. Even Mantis has some with the T-Rex arms. That's all I'm right? So go back to kicking. But I think that the important thing about the kicking is just seeing that there's so many kicks that are hidden. Because remember that the old masters had no choice but to hide. Like the master Aping over there, her wushu form was allowed and sanctioned by the government. You didn't have techniques like that being allowed to be public until they had competition for the government. You know what I mean? So a lot of these things were, the average person had to hide everything. So every time you see a step and this foot comes up, that's a kick. This is a marker, kick marker. Something got smashed, something got broken, something got broken. Now, again, all the power is either a 9-section whip or a cannon. So basically think like a wet towel flicking or a sledgehammer, a wrecking ball. Those are the two powers that are mainly generated for boxing. I either have this whipping flick or I have this smash ball thing. However, they both have to combine. If I use the cannon fist or the smashing wrecking ball, but I don't have enough whip power to initiate the swing, it's not going to be effective. If I have a whip, but there's not any weight and mass behind the whip, not effective. So you need to learn to combine these two powers. So if I just flick him, yeah, it's effective. But if I flick him and I add my mass behind it, that's different. If I go through a thrust kick, because I add a pulse at the end. So learning to combine these two energies of the 9-section whip and the cannon fist together is important. Okay? But I also did a video before that has a lot of the kicking in the form. And my back hurts too much to actually demo that today. But I have a video, if you come to the Discord and ask, I'll find the video for you. Right, because it's so logical. It's so logical. Anytime I pick my leg up, it's a marker for a kick. Because you remember, a lot of these techniques are so hidden. Okay? Like when I show a punch, so if I show you this is what? This is press, right? But how many people would think to put the guy in a clinch and smash his head repeatedly? This is like Muay Thai, right? Because this is the ultimate fist. It has everything in it. But you're not thinking as a fighting style. This gentle, raw, oh, so pretty, so soft. All you have to do is square it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. It makes total sense now.
Yeah.
It makes total sense now. Right? No? 1, enter, 2, smash. Okay? But you wouldn't consider that. Right? So this is the markers, right? I call them markers. Right? They're notations. It's a shorthand. It's a little notation in the form. And when you see it, it's supposed to make sense. And that's why I was saying that you should start to explore application, because in live free-flow combat, it's just sort of pushing. See, I don't know how to come out. Right? Fair lady, okay, just roll me, okay. White snake with tongue, okay, single whip, okay. That's whatever he leads me to. Let's actually, I want to show you single whip applications, because there's some interesting variables here. When you notice, do I push? Okay, fine. Now I go into single whip. Beginning of single whip is here, right? I'm going to do the basic version of single whip. Before you go left, this is for wrestling, right? Before I go left, because it's a clinch, single whip sets off from the end of on, which is this and here. What is this? I have my hands on his head. I just didn't link them. Okay? So what I'm going to link is so people can see, you know, it can be this way, it can be something different, okay? I'll just cross my fingers now. What I want to do, if I want to move him this way, he's going to resist. Don't let me move him. See? Watch this. Okay? Before you go left, you go right. So before I go left, I go right, and I go left. Okay? So in the form, it's okay. I'm glad that you enjoyed the stream. Did there any applications I didn't get? We'll get to them later, don't worry. But I don't care. I really do it for you guys. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you stopped by. It's nice to see you. But have a good day, and hopefully we'll catch up and we'll get to play together. Okay. Say hi to everybody.
Do you know where she's at now?
She's in Connecticut, I think.
Oh.
She's all the time. So this here is 1, 2. Okay? So the reason I'm saying this is, again, I want to reiterate this. The masters of the ancient times are so much smarter than us. Don't think that we can, you know, we can only like try to code things or align things, but we're not going to reinvent the wheel of geniuses.
True.
These guys are on levels of thinking we can never get to. You know?
Like if they were here right now, they'd be laughing.
Yeah, she's in set kind of good. All right, well, I'm glad you liked this stream. It was really nice to see you. And send my love to your fans and your students. Hopefully we'll get to play sometime if I can be walking by then. So, I go over the basics. I really want to go over that first application so there. What else is there's really good?
Okay, so staying on single whip, after you come here, like after, so first move was going one side, other side, and now the next part.
Next part, guy's gone. So
No, your.
So now, okay, so fine. If I want to go the other way, I'm already going to circle the back. Okay? And from here, the dead. Okay? Or seriously, her. And this is a basic concept of how to maneuver somebody wrestling. Right? Is you'll see this in company push-ups a lot, where I set up, and I'll do. Okay? Just a little side tap to get to the weak corner. But this is cheesy stuff. Because in a fight, I'm not going to, oh, good point!
Yeah.
The hell's that? So a lot of the competition push-ups, I'm not disrespecting the sport, but it's a sport, it's a game. It has nothing to do with reality. Okay? If I get to a position where I'm here, I'm going to blast you. Okay? That's Tai Chi. I have to hit you, but I have to stop you from doing, home. You're going to burn down the temple. My job is to stop you from burning down the temple. Huh? Yeah, because Tai Chi is really good. It really is, really, you know. The body mechanics are really good, you know, and she speaks really well. Most of the teachers, they talk like DTs. So, that's just a little bit, okay, fine, I'll try to get you into the single word application. Okay? So that's single whip, it's like the beginning of single whip. But I wanted to really show that corner press. Now, my single whip is, because single whip's the defining factor in all Tai Chi. You know who your teacher is, so I not only wanted to have my own version of single whip in my personal form, but I wanted to have pieces of every Tai Chi style. So when you see my version of split chest and push, you notice that it's offset. I'm trying to break it up so you can see how many, there's like little push strikes that are happening. When I get to this point, I retract, I'm dotting. From here, I'm going to do that wave, but this is a hit. So I'm already hit you. Okay? One, you already got hit. So I'm saying? This is bad stuff already happened. Okay? 45 off. Because there's two ways to do play guitar. basic play guitar is I invite you to come in and you say you punch with the left hand. Okay? The second way to punch with the left hand is 1, break, wrap, close, shoulder strike, right transfer. Okay? So there's different. So I have that. Oh, the pulse monkey. Let's, I'll do a pulse monkey, but let's go through the order. So, no, like,
Pulse monkey's way down the road though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm gonna skip a lot of stuff from here. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of like what kind of here. Okay. There's this sweep, there's this split and kick. Brush knee, obviously don't do anything. 1,
boom, yeah.
okay, my style, it's try to block, a punch right, fun. So it's down, up, under, in, switch, collapse. What's happening? So when you try to stop it, you feel how there's all this, right? So the strike is this, and then this, and then this, and then this. But it happens in an instant, okay?
Well, a good thing to know on that application and all that stuff happening in an instant. Why you have to go slow to go fast?
Right.
You actually have to go slow
You have
for
to-
each one of those.
To
movements.
get it to be one
Yeah.
motion. Because there's a lot of things happening. If I'm pummeling, right? Right? I need to be able to get under and over.
Mhm.
But I also want to have my spinal energy to attack. But I also want to have my fang and my mouth set. I also want to disrupt his energy by touching him before I hit him. Because if I don't let me move, okay, I'm just going to push you. Watch this. You know the difference? Because I disrupted your stabilizer just a tiny bit, and then I had to push. So that's injected into my form. Let's go to the basic form. Brush knee is perfect. So 1, 2, brush his knee and down to the corner. So I'm actually going to brush his knee. Okay? 1, 2. If I trap the foot and brush his knee, he goes down. Okay? So I'm giving him space to not fall, but actually what's going to happen is this. Okay? So I put my foot right behind your foot or right next to your foot, just, and let's do this. Okay? Brush the knee.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you have inside, second one, where I step here. So when you see brushing number 2, brushing number 1 is my foot's outside. Brushing number 2, my foot's inside, and then, okay, come here. So I step inside, and then I twist here.
Yeah. Brush knee, twist step.
Twist knee, twist down. So that twist step's a trap. Like in the Kung Fu movies.
Yeah.
Then you have pummeling, right? And crushing.
There's another when you were talking about that for the kicks when you came up and went that way.
I'm going to show all of them. I got to get the repulse monkey first, so we're going to get there. I'm going to go in order. Okay? In order. So now we're brushing twist step, step up, the fight parry punch.
Right.
Okay, so we have those stopping steps. Step the parry punch. Step up, deflect. Now, my style, I have the Yen style gate changing palm. So, basic style they have here. Well, doing boom. But in mine, I have the gate change. If I go 1, punch the other hand, I want gate change.
Yeah.
Okay? So I have that. Needle to see bottom. So I throw the punch. I want to make sure you understand this. When you throw the punch, I hit him, but then I circle it. Okay? So I go circle. So I'm going to hit him, but then end out in a circle. When I do step, what do you call it? Needle to see bottom. He grabs my punch. So I circle out here, here, down. But If I want to be nasty about it, I bring him into my knee. Okay? So his face right into my forward knee. Then we have the break, and then I'm going to go into split out my fan. These are obvious applications, I'm going to go through that. Or this way, it's going to make a fucking difference.
You have cross.
No, that's later. So my, okay, I've been doing the full left hand, I gotta go to the right hand to do this. Okay, so here's another one when we get into split over the fan. Then I set up and I grab his head. I do the same thing as single whip. Before I go left, I go right. Okay? Seal, cover, bang. When I hit him, I want to hit him behind the ear in this little hole. So it's not straight down, it's not across, it's this diagonal, curvy, linear thing. If the guy has me in front of me, I can come down into your nose, but I also still want to circle out to my corner. So it's not perfectly straight, but it's not this way. It's like this curvy, linear thing. 1, 2, 3. Now from here, this brace is important. So if I 1, 2, 3, then you try to keep in. See where I am? Okay. So my foot has that double step. Then we have double step. Is ground. Okay. Drop it right down. Double hand push. Okay. Grab my wrist. Wrist, open the wrist up. The basic application for that. Carry tiger to back to the upper camp for rematch. So, to right side of this, right? So I got to do practicing left hand because I'm a little confused in this way. So this, fundamentally, we're here, and I get him into this position where I have head control and one under. I'm going to take this big, wide step, and then from here I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to throw him over. Okay? And then tear it this way. In fighting application, I'm just going to hit him, tiger claw, over the top, punch with the block, down. So carry tiger. I'm either going to carry him and do a shoulder throw, or I'm going to carry and slam the tiger paw on his face. That's not carry tiger. Single whip, fist under elbow. Fist under elbow is so obvious, you just punch the body. Okay. Repulse monkey. We're starting with that. Okay, so we're here. I want to be in this position. I get my foot behind his, and then from here, this is a sweep. I'm coming in. So you see we're here, my foot's inside, I get the foot inside, and then I just step back. It's a sweep. I just don't want to come to the ground lines.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm here. That's basically repulse monkey. Repulse monkey has the same effect as carry tiger backwards. Right? You have carry tiger or going forward, carry tiger or repulse monkey or going backward. But you have to think how a monkey, they do this hop. Have you seen a monkey move?
Yeah.
They do this like little hop thing. So it's good when you come to kick low or retreat and smack them in the head. Okay? You gotta think of the animal, how the animal moves. That makes sense. Okay? But yeah, the main function of pulse monkey is a basic throw. I'm here, I go to pulse monkey.
Pulse monkey, fist under elbow, cloud hands.
Cloud hand, okay, hold on enough. Monkey. Hold on, give me a second. Diagonal flying.
Yeah.
So, diagonal flying is basically one off left. That's all it is. Okay? It's just a throw. You just put your foot, so we're in cross hand, push hand position, we're rolling, I take this one step, he's down. Okay? The key to the diagonal flying throw is I want to give him no space. Doesn't matter if it's, I want to get as little space between me and him. I use my elbow, I use my whole arm. But for real combat, as soon as I make this connection, his arm's broken. It's just BAM! Then hitting the throat. Because we're going broken arm throat. Okay? Because it's this combat. This isn't cloud hands. This doesn't work. He checks it. So I go from here, I bring this up, and I tear to spleen. Because with that hand, I tear to the liver. See what I'm saying? Cloud hands is Mike Tyson. Yes, exactly. Word for the lead, exactly. Cloud hands is the main quintessential element for Tai Chi boxing. If I put gloves on, this is how Tai Chi boxing will work. Where I'm not using this to generate power. I'm using this. That's Tai Chi boxing. It looks kind of weird, but it hits very hard. Okay? You know, this other cloud hand actually grabs me. There's cloud hands again. We change the color a little bit. Cloud hands again. Cloud hands again. So there's other trapping elements. But it really is superhero punching.
Cloud hands is similar to Snake Creek Center.
So now in my form, I removed the third cloud hand. So I have cloud hand left, cloud hand right. So I go temporary at the side. This is left-handed. Now here I add a back step. Right? Let me explain. There's so many applications to this. So we have the hooking hands, we have this drag. That's one. We also have, I can't do this today, guys, my back is really good.
Yeah.
It's a fireman carry. Okay? There's one variation where you step, you step this way, and then you kick in. So you actually throw an extra kick, I've seen. That's what we're doing. Hooking hand, punch it that way. Dragging it that way. Then there's, again, and just go for the leg. Okay?
It's a nice get under.
Then there's also the ability to root pressure. Okay? I can actually, to be able to go from this level, my back is too hard, I can't get all the way down to it, I'm sorry. But you get the idea. There's a lot of variation to it.
Snake Creek's down. Oh, then we're coming up with roosters.
Oh man, too old for this shit. My back hurts, I think it's tight, I can get tired. So, golden cock stands on one leg. Obviously, you know, from here, down, whatever. This would be an ox jaw. It's the same thing as Muay Thai. Okay? But you have this coming up. Like my elbow, come up, hit with that, hit with this, hit with this, the back of the wrist. Up. Okay? As a check, you throw a reverse kick, and then turn. So when you do golden cock, it shouldn't just be up and down. It should be up, turn, down, kick, up, and turn. Because I actually want to catch his leg and roll with the energy. Okay? No, it's a rising crane hook. Phoenix is like this. So when I do that in my form, 1, clear, down. 1, clear, down. Now split, kick, throw a punch. Okay? Blocking hand on the outside, always. So you throw a first punch, you throw a second punch. Okay? So I have this split. Think about it coming in my face like this. Almost like a monkey guard. But it's pretty.
Yeah.
Okay? It looks pretty, but effectively I'm just going like this. It's really what but in the form you want to make it look nice. So it's
Yeah, man.
right? But in reality all I'm doing is going, don't hit me in the head.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't hit me in the head. Okay? So split kick, split. Now the first two are a toe kick. The last one's a heel kick. So the first two are toe, toe. This third one is a push with the heel. Can you see that? So the third one is hitting with the bottom of the heel, like this. So the first two should be this. The third one's like this. Then we have,
We had more Russian knees, but we were doing more
no,
Russian knees.
Fair Lady. I mean, Fair Lady is pretty obvious. Okay, Fair Lady, you see this in Pakme. Pakme has a lot of this.
Oh.
They have a lot of this double block punch, block punch. So they throw it up. Okay, or, okay, this is very obvious. What's not obvious is the grab from here. So now when I go to the next move, this is elbow break. Because if I do the form, before that, the single whip, before that has a ridge hand. Right? Let me see what I have to do the form, sorry. How the fuck? God,
It's coming out of your top hands.
No. I have to go backwards because I shipped too many things. That's why I'm missing. Okay. After the kick is punch the crotch and the whole thing. So I do the split kick. Fine, right? Then we go punch the crotch. There's two ways to do this. The first one is to hit the pyramidalis muscle down and then contract it to a corner. So I go down inside and felt that? Yeah. It feels terrible. So I'm basically hitting the intestines and scraping. The other way is to do this looping to the nuts. Okay? So it's punching the crotch, not punching the balls. It's just the entire area. So there's multiple ways to get around that. Now we have grab and knee. So I just go one, bang, he's gonna bend down, I grab him and I knee him in the face. Logical conclusion, right? If I touch you in the ball, if I miss, you're gonna do what?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you see, oh shit! So I got you in the head and you in the face. But then you have box the ears. I'll do left side, there's no difference. 1, 2, bang, fine. He steps back, like, they see this. I mean, it could happen if I'm close and get both at the same time, right in the spot here. Rabbit punch, they call it. We get like him like this. But in my form, more realistic and traditional method of boxing ears, that's why I do this knee. It's how I do left side. One is I'm going to block, elbow, block, roll, in. Because it's not going to happen. I just need you. Right?
Yeah.
So you're here with this knee, I just pierced the way in, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to respond.
Yeah.
And you're going to try to do something to me. Exactly! That's what I want to see. You see what I am? So what do I have to do to get this off? 1, 2. You're going to respond. 3, 4. You're going to respond. 5, 6. See what I'm saying? I'm not going to be able to do this.
Right.
Unicorn punch. It's not going to happen. And traditional styles are never unilateral. They're always bilateral. Okay? Okay. Okay? So, I'll just say I get the second one, do the first one punch. I get this one. You feel how your eyes are shattered?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get touched here. So you have this rich hand that happens here. Now from here, I'm going to graze this off. You do something to respond. Here's my Fair Lady Blue Shuttles. Now I get to this corner. I have to come back, grab, change, and if the other arm is up, and I get the other arm, for instance, this makes more sense. Broken. Okay? Actually, it looks like there's a little arm break in there. Then they have a, what is this, something on the end, so whatever. Throw, graze through, step back, punch through. So 1, 2, 3, and then I go to the form. Snake creeps down, stepping up 7 stars. So I just sit here, broke, step up, punch. So the big move down is that little snake creeps down. But now I'm going to come up, open his neck, punch him in the throat, kick him in the balls. Okay? The shape looks like this. But the application is 1, 2, 3. Because they need to open. Right, from here, up. Okay. You block that. Okay. So, my Ben Boshi Tiger is the knife my Michael teacher, so it's not exactly like the Yang style. It's this. It's this motion. Okay? So I have this bend the bow, because Ben Boshi Tiger should look like I'm bending a bow to shoot. Okay? A bow staff.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm bending it. Right? It's just how I look at it. But for me, it's circle up, up, cover, circle up, cover, circle up, clear, down punch, elbow, step, gate change, clear, punch, clear.
How about this part before you bend the bow?
Glad you enjoyed, Jay.
When you come off the kick here, boom, boom, here, here, and then you're coming here.
Okay. No, the kick is before. The kick is before at the 7 stars. So clear, punch. Then we're gonna walk the barbell circle for a second.
Right.
Crescent kick. No, crescent kicks are used for opening and blocking. So you have your guard up.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to hit you. If you have a knife in your hand, I'm going to crescent kick. Okay? You throw a roundhouse kick, crescent kick. Okay? So you throw that roundhouse kick, check, and I can hit with the uppercut, or if you're too close, it goes to the baji top elbow. but instead of doing it for the forward corner, use the open corner. Make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions? I think that's all the main applications. And I'm old and time. Any questions? Oh man. No questions? You had some push hands questions you said you were going.
I think you answered them earlier. So you kind of have a set, like it's basically like everything you do. Whenever you touch, you have a set, almost like a set pattern you like to follow to bait them in, so that you can.
It's an algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's not even baiting them in.
Well, almost like remember you said, look, you want like that to get a response.
Yeah.
So when you're doing your push hand, as soon as you touch, you already have a preset
Yes.
sequence that you want to follow to get them to where you want them.
Because it's a handset. Like if you're doing your Pumble
Yeah, so as soon as you touch,
as soon
yes, you already have a programmed set.
that I'm not thinking about. Like I tell you like, oh, these guys don't know I've already calculated 1,000 ways to kill them last hour.
Yeah.
It's because I'm watching the algorithm make the check. See, right here, your energy's going, now change this way. So right now, I'm going to clear. It's not like I want to. My idea is that I'm a hose that wants to find a way to go down the through path. So if you're putting pressure, see, now you gave me a rhythm path. You take it away, now you give me another one. Take that away, now you give me another one. Take it away, give me another one. Take it away, give me another one. It's not that I want to hit him. I just want to flow into the next vacuum while covering my vacuum so you can't get, I have no vacuum. So when you touch me, you shouldn't feel a hole to get into. Which if I do this, you feel it. Now you feel an entry. You see what I'm saying? You can feel the entry. If I do this, it's so subtle difference. What you know what I'm saying? You're trying to get in, but you didn't really feel the entry. You want the force entry. The difference. Okay? Where if I give you a hole, you feel this hole. You see what I'm saying? If I take that hole away, you're trying to force the entry. You see what I'm saying? And that's when bad things happen. Make sense? That's why you end up getting hurt. That's why you get dead. Congratulations. So, does that make sense?
So even without that, when you're playing nicely, when I come here,
I can't not do it.
Yeah. Wait.
I can't not do it. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. For me, I can't not do this. And even if I'm playing nice, go ahead. I'm still here. You see what I'm saying? That's why I was talking about the gates. So I let you in, but in my mind, you're already hit. You're already hit. See what I'm saying? But I'm not letting you feel it. Okay? Now, if someone has good hands like that, I'm just not going to play that. It's whatever is open.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I just need to get home. But if we're playing a game, like, I have to play with people who aren't on the level, I need to play the game.
Right.
And I'm not disrespecting the other guys who are playing for fun. I'm just saying as historical reference, this is how the boxing style operates. Understand?
So, in essence, whenever you're training, there should be no point of a push. That's stupid. The play,
It's not
the
it's
routine
it's
itself
good.
is to practice the skill, not worry about like, did I push him to win a point?
Right, so let me,
Right.
like, remember how you showed me your guys' version of the Tumble Jian cycle exercise?
So the
Right, so you do that, and then I do this, and then I check this way, fine, this is your, right?
yeah.
Okay, fine. So this is great. And then I do it, my style, we do on off, clear, roll back, you go G, sell, right? And the idea is that if you put right into the, don't go so fast. You try to get too fast, like, oh no. It's a flow drill. So you do this, you try to break my elbow, I do G, you do on, right? I do roll back, I try to break the elbow, you clear the elbow, I set it, you do G, I smother it on, you do pickup, you do roll, see what I'm saying? And the idea is that you're learning this flow drill.
Yeah.
If you do this, you answer with that. If he goes to G, I answer with on. If you feel on, you answer with pung liu. If I feel lu, breaking my elbow, I answer with G. If I do G, you answer with on. If I feel on, I pick up the pung liu. So this is my style version. Same idea.
Yeah.
But that's a game in itself when you get the flow down, because if you miss one of the flow points, it's already over.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if you get that point until you recover, then I have this one. If you miss that, you're gone. So that's a little game on its own. And it's not that I'm trying to push you.
Right. It's just if you miss
I'm
the
just
flow
go-
point, you're gonna go.
It's chess.
Yeah.
If I move the knight here and you move the bishop there, it is what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. So now I'm going to say this again, the key to getting the Tai Chi push and the Fa Jing push. The secret that I don't think the masters can reiterate. If I want to push you, once I try to get the effect of push, the muscles, I always say this, type 1, type 2, type 2A, the order of operations changes by the visualization, at least the actualization. How I'm thinking changes how my muscles activate in which order. If I'm thinking, I want to push you, I'm going to activate the slow twitch first. I'm going to settle in, I'm going to go double heavy, because that's the way the subconscious is trained.
That's your E, your mind intent.
Because the mind intent is on that path, that algorithm. Instead, I learn what it feels like when the technique makes you go. Okay?
Yeah. Not you want to get the effect of the technique, not
It's the same as when I explain locking. I don't try to put you in this lock. I lead and follow you into the lock. Okay? I can't force, no matter how strong I am, I can't force this lock on you. But if I follow you into the lock, you can't stop me. This idea of letting the technique flow, I'm feeling what it feels like to make you move. It's the feeling. I have a memory of that feeling, and you train, oh, that's what it felt like. Let me get that feeling. Let me get that feeling. That's why you keep hearing me say this. Oh, wait, what does it feel like?
Yeah.
What does it feel like? You're like, what do you mean? Everyone when I see it says, how'd that feel? How'd that feel? I understand the psychology of how the muscles innervate. It's the way you're looking at that event that changes the muscle system. So let's say I lead the Qi. The reason why the syncing the Qi works for some of these masters, because they get a visualization that changes the conscious triggers into the system they can't control, which is tonic muscle. You're standing here, do you feel yourself standing?
Yeah.
If I told you to walk, do you feel yourself walking? So your gait cycle is using muscles and systems that you are not in control of, with parasympathetic. How do you control parasympathetic situation? Right? It has no sympathy for you. The parasympathetic nervous system has no sympathy for you. It's like, fuck you, we don't want to listen to you. So how do we get it to work? We use visualization, the Qi, the magic flow. But it only works for the masses who have a cultural reference to understand the visualization. Fill up with Qi. That only means something to people who grew up in the culture, surrounded by the culture.
Right.
I don't know, what the hell do you mean the Qi? Sync the what?
Right.
Right? So then you end up with push. And it's more important to allow the technique and the levers first. So I say start off mechanical with force, using lever systems. And then after you feel comfortable using the lever system, you start to say, well, what does it feel like when he actually moves correctly? And I'm not using like real force, just how does this feel? Oh, that's the feeling. Oh, and little by little, sorry, but little by little, if I try to do one of these things, oh, I see, it doesn't mean that I'm going to push you, right? But if I go, oh, what's that, remember what it felt like? Oh, that's what it felt like. Right? Felt like that. But I try to push you like that, nothing happens. But I remember the feeling. Because by remembering the feeling, that's why these masters may not even understand it's not the Qi. Because they're entering the parasympathetic nervous system to trigger tonic muscle to act in a way that they cannot physically feel.
And it's been passed down to them, and passed down to them,
Right.
and passed down to them.
So it sounds like mystical nonsense. But it's most important to get the feeling and understand how to rationalize the feeling and the mechanics of the feeling. And then even if I'm doing like what it looks like I'm not moving, like, whatever, like give me a little more form. See? Like, I do that stuff. Can you see this? Right. You see what I'm saying? It's more the feeling. You see what I'm saying? But structurally, what I just did was this. Okay? I just internalized that so the move is here. So if I do clear chest like this, or if I do clear chest like this, I'm still doing clear chest. One is this big, one is this big, and one's, just saying?
Yeah.
It's just the same move. But because you have to understand that this is
But
a
it has to
muscle.
be the slow progress from the large to the small.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you have to have something to measure.
Yes.
Which is why I always say use force and single force.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to learn Fa Jing, the woo-woo, if we're playing like this all the time.
Right.
You get to that level where I can suddenly do all this stuff from this very top tight no push,
From the big.
from the big forces,
Right.
from you pushing hard, really hard, and I'm dealing with that. And then little by I have a measurement my mind can understand. And over years, you can touch me very lightly. See what I'm saying? You still feel the same energy as they walk through you, right? But it's the same idea comes really hard and going, "Argh." Okay? I just turn the dial down and I'm going, oh, okay. Okay? It's the same thing. It looks magical, right? It looks like woo-woo, and it feels
Because
like
it's been
woo-woo.
refined.
Right. And it looks like woo-woo, and it feels like it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the cultural understanding and the actual practical mechanical science and kinesiology, it's gonna be rumble jungle.
Do you think that people try to learn too many things at once without refining one thing at first? Almost like Bruce Lee thing where he says about practicing 10,000 kicks or just practicing one really good.
My biggest secret is I spend time on the basics, even now. All I care about is Panmujian. Okay? Because it's all that matters. It's like I want to refine it. So like today I feel like my left hip is not right, so I freak I'm off. So I have to remember that. Okay, this line's a little off. I feel all my hips are in. Oh, well, and this is what I'm thinking before. Oh, I could have sat down better here. Open up the ring, man. Oh, that hurts today. You know,
Mm-hmm.
every day is when you do the form is how can I refine?
It's body scanning while you're doing the form.
Yes, your body scanning, and it's like whittling.
Yeah.
So you first start with whittling a big block. So all you're going to learn the big block, right? And then you start to get the shape of a face, but it's still like jagged.
Yeah.
And then you start with the little knife, and you start to, and then you go to sandpaper, and then you go buffing it,
Yeah.
And then when you're at the master level, you're constantly buffing it, and sometimes you drop it, so you have to like use a little filler, and then clean it up, paint it,
Yeah.
So it's a never-ending process,
Yeah.
and it's a very lonely road.
Makes sense.
If you're gonna do Tai Chi for real, you can have community, but it's a lonely inside path.
Yeah.
Because your whole goal is for you to become one with the universe, right? And to perfect the machine so that it can move as best it can. And when you get to that level, all the little aches and pains show up because I can feel every tendon inside my body. I can feel like this one tendon that's too tight because my hip is out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is like the kind of like mechanical interoception you get to. Was very annoying, which is why it's hard to understand. When you grab me, I already know what your rate is. I know where you're going. I already have. It's like reading Braille.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you put contact pressure, I already know exactly where the line is. I know where your direction's going. I know where the hole is. You know what I'm saying? So it's the
By
way.
knowing you.
By knowing myself, I know other.
Right.
Because there is no other.
Right.
Right? Like, at the end of the day, the molecules aren't even real. We're just empty space. We're literally just a bunch of empty space and a magnetic wave floating around. So what is this? This is nothing. Everything's an illusion. It's all fake. It's all fake. There's not a stake. You know what I mean? So, I think that's a lot. I think most people's brains are going to explode. Is anybody even still paying attention to this? Any questions, anybody out there?
Yeah, I guess it sometimes they go too long and people just.
Well, no, that's good. Because I only want the people who actually learn to pay attention. I don't want to give them snippets where they can steal stuff. Because, look, there's guys who came in here today who robbed me. Okay?
Well, yeah, the guy in the comments said, "Oh, I learned so much today." Yeah.
Well, I mean, most of these guys, I'm lucky because they actually care and they're respectful. There's guys who will pop in, you know, and they'll just steal,
Yeah.
and then they rebrand it, and it's like one little piece, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't actually get anything, and they don't get anything, and everyone's a bunch of scumbags.
It's all about the almighty dollar.
It's more about ego. Because a lot of these guys will act like they don't know who I am, but they're making, you know, they've actually copied my shit over the years and make money on it, and then they believe they don't know me. You know? I'm not going to name any names, but, and I don't mind, but it'd be nice if they show some respect. Because mimicry is the best form of flattery, you know?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it in that way. It was okay. So moving push hands. So,
Without a comment was.
so how I like to play push hands is actual free flow. And as I said in the beginning, I look at push hands as I have two knives in my hand. So he's trying to come at me, and he's trying to stab at me. So this is push hands today. Right? And I'm trying to keep those knives away from me. That's what I'm really trying to do. Okay? Slow it down so I can, and I will bring my back to them. So, right? So I'm just trying to get away from these knives. That's the first one. I'm just going to defend right now. So he's stepping, he's stabbing. I want to keep my distance and follow, keeping the same distance, and learning to keep the same structural distance from my center to his center, and from his weapon to my center, right? I want to stay as much as I can, and I want you to notice the distance I'm keeping, and there's a line between me and him.
Almost if we got a stick there.
I was just going to say that. It's like this, and we're going to walk around, and I'm trying to measure this distance and keep it like this. This is my idea. He has two blades, and I have to learn to follow him at this range, where the first thing, I don't want to lose the space, and I want to follow these weapons and keep my arteries closed. So that's basically as much as I possibly can, is I want to keep my arteries from getting cut. I want to keep my range. If he gets close, I have to slip and open. Now, obviously, I'm not going to keep defending like that, because in reality, once I make the space, I'm going to. So that's how I look at the moving push-hand. He comes in, line, and defense. So to me, it's a form of cheese as a Wing Chun. And it's like Wing Chun and Bagua mixed together. If that makes sense. Give me 1 second, because I gotta try to cut my hand. Oh.
I've heard car wrecks messing so many people
Oh.
up in life.
Yeah,
Or motorcycle wrecks.
No, I've never. I was a passenger in the car.
Oh.
So how Tai Chi should deal with the jab is break it. Okay? So. Are you right or left?
Right. So you might get left.
Did I just break the TV? It's okay. Probably just hit the cable. Oh, that's what I get. It's the cable. Yeah. So he throws a jab. I want to break it. Okay. So his front hand, I should break. Okay. Smash it. That's what I'm really gonna do. If he's trying to punch me in the face, same as a catch in boxing, but I'm gonna put power and break it. And I know people are gonna argue with this, but again, my interpretation is in the time that Lao Tzu was writing the Tao Te Ching, it was a treaty on warfare and deception. Okay? When you're looking at An is a smother. Sorry, okay? I was hoping it's enough to cover your head. But you feel what I'm saying, right? So I'm gonna break this. So I'm gonna smash. Because it's long fist. It's long fist and right crane. Okay? So when you go into attack mode, I'm gonna smash this thing up. Now if we're going into blending and yielding, it's too fast. So what I have to do is called all on. It's not gonna work. Right? Especially now it'll hurt. I can't move that fast. Right? So what I have to do is this. So the way you deal with it is I'm going to use spread arms like fan. And this is the same as in boxing, we do a slide punch. Oh. Okay? So I'm boxing. He goes to his jab, I throw my jab over. You felt that? So he shows up his jab. Go. Go. You see what's happening? So the slide punch, he throws his jab. As soon as he starts it, I go. But the difference is, I'm going to weave it in. And go right for his eyeballs. And so that's how the Tai Chi approach is. I want to come in, come over, and circle in right. So it's kind of like I impact it, but then I allow it to hook.
Well, and note too is almost like if the person's going to hit a jab off, they're going to be at a range to do so. With Tai Chi being a close range art, you want to close the gap.
Tai Chi's not a close range art. Tai Chi's not a grappling art. Tai Chi is a complete boxing martial arts system with weapons and warfare. It's not how it works. I want to make sure you can see the comments clearly. So
that's a misconception.
Big misconception. So I want to go in and slide in, and whenever possible, I want to have 2-on-1 outside. The jab is way too fast for me to catch it. So I have to either smash and go in, but anytime my preference is always to get here. Okay? So my preference is always to cover and get 2 hands on one outside, and to get as close as possible to smash. I know these really good hands that I want to run. Right? But if I went from the outside, long fish style, it's a smash. It's a boxing style. So we deal with the same as boxing. Okay, if you ever see William Chen throw a punch,
yeah, I've seen him do that. Yeah.
Okay? So we roll in this character like that. So as he punches, I punch. As you punch, I punch. So it's like I'm looping. So that's the William Chen style. Is your punch comes and I'm just gonna roll. And you're kind of getting into this reel.
Yeah.
Okay? But more traditionally, I want to go through. I want to smash it. If I can, I want to break his hand. But more functional way to deal with the jab, go. Now I'm showing you the application. I know what you want to see, but dude, you throw your jab, kicking the balls. Game over. Any questions? Because it's the simplest thing. Closest weapon, closest target. He picks up his hand, kick him the balls. Okay, you're an old man. Like, look, I have 400 disc, fractured everything. You know, I'm good half the year, but right now this disc is out, so it's hard for me to move. Okay, but
so as soon as the intent comes,
as soon as the intent comes, I'm gonna stab you. Boom. Because it's white crane. The whole problem is that the cultural references and the lies and it's only in Yang style, this commercial nonsense. It's white crane. White crane's whack. Fuck, where are you chicken? I'm hungry. You're my dinner. I'm gonna eat you. You know what I mean? It's like, guys are nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a boxing style, treat it like a boxing style. So I was like, fan. So I'm gonna reiterate that. In the Chinese style, you go first, I get there first. He starts to initiate an attack, I take the line. Okay? The person who moves first, if the counterpuncher has a proper alignment, the counterpuncher should win. Right? Because you're going to throw a right hand, I loop to the outside. I'm letting you decide where to go. You made a thing that triggers a response. You throw the jab, I throw jab. You know what I'm saying? So I'm boxing like this. That's how I deal with the jab, right? Come in. Right? So anytime something's coming towards me, I throw again. Because
On another side note, they can't feel it because they're not getting hit. But conditioning
oh yeah.
here and here. So have you ever done the?
I
3
forgot.
stars?
I forgot.
Yeah. So like on a side note, just conditioning 3 stars.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, is very good conditioning.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. How's that feel when I'm touching you?
Yeah, when you condition up these, it makes a big difference.
Yes, you probably. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's good stuff.
I forgot that I even is a pain.
Yeah.
Cause I used to. I'm so used to that because remember I did karate and hardstyle first.
Mm-hmm.
So this to me, I don't feel it at all. Like I can go shin to shin and just it doesn't bother me. So that's why for me my mentality is different.
Yeah.
But the old Tai Chi masters did iron body training.
Right.
They did Wigong. They did like hard. They're not playing games. The
When it's going to be a Tai Chi block, it's going to crush your arm.
The Emperor's bodyguard was not going like this. Oh, he must be extra strong. No, the Emperor's bodyguard is going to break your neck. He's not playing any games. This isn't a game. Okay? This is like, I have to protect the temple. You know, I'm Buddha's warrior attendant. And I have my diamond sword that slays demons. I have to protect the congregation. My job as the warrior is to protect the people who can't protect themselves. Somebody has to take on the position of violence, protect those who can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So you have to master violence to protect those who can't. It's that simple. And you have to think in that level. So I'm going to say this again for people who come later who may not see the beginning of the stream. Those who come to me saying that you shouldn't be violent if you're a Buddhist and to be soft if you're Tai Chi guy. The karma of you calling the cops to get them to do violence to protect you is the same as you going into the store and getting meat from a factory farm. You're outsourcing your violence. It's the same karma. So some of us have to be protectors. Somebody has to protect the Buddha. The Buddha is not just, everyone always likes to say Kuan Yin and talk about the Buddha. What about the warrior attendant? Understand? You have to give the warrior attendant his respect, otherwise evil wins. You know what I'm saying? So, that's it. Any more questions? I guess that's it. Give him a minute and see if anybody has anything else that they want to ask. Anything? Anybody? We went over a lot of stuff today. How long is the stream going? Oh, it's only 3 hours. It's not that bad. My class is going up always 2.5, 3 hours. This is normal training for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I was also telling a lot of the people that do, like some of my students that come in and it's a 1-hour class, I'm like, that's just, like, if we're really going to have a class, that's just a warm-up.
Yeah, but for private lessons is different. An hour class is fine. But for a group class, you gotta do at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours, 3 days a week is the minimum. All this commercial school you go for an hour is nonsense. This is why people think that, yeah, they're great, gross motor movement fighters. But you're talking about high school level and they're professional experts versus like college experts. I'm sorry, like I know there's not a lot of them. There are some scary dudes in this world. Okay? That make like the top UFC guys. These guys are surgeons.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty scared. And these guys will just like, there's no.
They'll eat you for breakfast.
It's not even, like I can't even touch them.
Yeah.
Okay? Like I can't even touch them. There's scary people in this world that can do things that you're not seeing on the internet. Okay? I met some scary guys. So.
That's true no touch.
No, these guys they touch you. My guy was teaching me Muay Thai in Mahjong. His bones were it's the craziest. I've done hard style training. My bones are conditioned, okay? And anybody else in the parks, and we go to like and I'll just sit there and like, the some guys will come to me and test me and see, and like, I'll sit there, I'll keep going with a straight face, and like, oh, okay, I can't with this guy. Like, it just, if I.
It's like just constantly.
No, it touches me and it feels like my body rings.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even explain the pain. Okay, it's a different level. And I'm scary, like, and really scary guys are like, okay, I'm gonna shoot him. And I'm not messing with those dudes. Like, it's just no.
Get the gun.
Get the flamethrower. It's like,
Yeah.
kill him with fire. Like, it's just, So no other questions for you guys? I think it's it. All right, I guess that's it. I'll sit down for a second. My old man bones. Oh, God.
You beat yourself up in your almost 50 years.
Yeah. You're very welcome. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Join the Discord. Tell your friends. And if there's anything else we come up with in the next couple of weeks, I'll let you guys know. But I think that's it, right? You have any more questions?
Well, we could go back and talk about what we were talking about in the beginning about the misconception of Lee. I know we covered that in the video.
Okay.
But when you come in and you have your initial frame and your bone goes against my bone, people may feel
This is Lee.
the Lee that.
Right.
But all you're doing is you're moving your bone into me. That's all. You're not.
No.
You're not actually.
No,
pushing.
when I'm moving, so I'm going to the center point of the island. And I'm just trying to find the center point. And then when I feel your energy, I just do the standing post. So what I'm trying to do is make my bones into this pole and make you run straight down the pole without bending the pole. So if you go and push in, you see how the ball bends? Now I want to try to get so that you are exactly on the axis. Now you feel like the pole's pushing you back. You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
This is what's happening to them when they see I'm using me versus Lee. I've got such fine tuning with pushing. You see what I'm saying? You feel that? Mm-hmm. So you change. I already realigned.
Yeah, you're right here.
You see what I'm saying? And you go again. I've already realigned. And every time you push into me, I've, like Jenga, I snap the blocks into place. It's coming. So now you're in the bone post again. Change it. See, now you're in the bone post again. Because you're not even on it. See what I'm saying? If you go out there, I'm just gonna hit you. But let's just say like
if there's a disconnection
Right.
in the hand, you're just
I'm
gonna
gonna come in.
Yeah.
But most of the push ins when they disconnect, I just keep playing.
Right.
And I just
Or you'll just go back on.
No, I just stop my energy at the end of the game. So you're gonna have those 3 gates.
Yeah.
So if he goes out, I just project my
Yeah, like
force
right there.
right here.
You can.
But in my mind, I just stop your body ended here, so you don't feel me hit you. But in my practice, I've already hit me. I've already hit you.
Yep.
But they don't know because I've put a wall that my power stops here.
Yeah.
You never get to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So you come in again and you feel, oh, he's only using lean.
And then,
Right, but I've already
yep.
come,
Bang. Yep.
I've already come in. But they don't feel that because I stop
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Stop it here.
Yep.
Right? I come in.
Then-
If I move in, you're gonna feel it. Right? But because my
It's
fight.
funny any touch though, and then you're here.
Yes, that's the point.
Yeah.
Because I'm practicing for fighting, for
Right.
hitting people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to make sure that I'm old, my back hurts, and some young punk is trying to rob me. I don't have time to play games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If somebody pulls a gun on me and he's stupid enough to put it on my body, I need push hands to teach me how to deal with this. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I need push hands to teach me how to deal with this, where someone's that dumb. You know what I'm saying? Okay? I don't want to break your finger on it. You can feel it. But you get the idea.
Yes.
Or, I mean, that's what really pushing teaching you. For instance, like a guy presses you in the back, you feel this energy. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the flow. Like, you're like, right? See what I'm saying? The same exact flow. This is going to break your finger out, this chart, okay? But that's the same idea of the flows. That's more important. Or like, really slow if you have a stick. You have to hit with the stick, right? So I could, instead we'll be able to follow the flow. See what I'm saying? Okay? So, oh yeah? How about I train your mom? Why is it always some no-name scrub? It's all the same guys. It's all the same like 5 guys with different names.
Yeah.
Okay? They're all the same scrubs
So ones that
who will never come here
I was just gonna say,
with their real name and talk to my face. Okay? You guys are a joke. Go make believe you have friends somewhere else. Okay?
Yeah, we love that.
Fuck out of here. Always.
That is a joke right there.
His name is Gamma.
Gamma, come to North Carolina.
Always one guy with no friends has to come ruin it. But it's actually all the same 5 idiots that come with different names. It's so hilarious. Don't you guys have any friends? You need a hug. You want Daddy D to come give you a hug or give you D? You need some love. Is that what it is? You need some love? Want me to hug you? Oh, your name is Mohammed? Oh, Mohammed, I live in 20... Oh, yeah,
Oh, he
okay.
lives in Jersey.
Oh, it was in Jersey?
How about that?
Okay. Dirty Jersey, 23, okay.
I was just up in Jersey.
Okay, Mohammed. Okay. You're being honest? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. If you don't like it, go to a different channel. Stop being a troll. Okay?
I'm sure there's plenty of people even you can send him to in Jersey.
My friends will kill him.
And this is-
He'll die. I'm hating on you. Don't come back. Go away. Be gone. We don't want you here. If you don't think it's a martial art, then go find another channel. No. I'm just gonna do it. Just block them. But it's just that generation, 23-year-olds, they have bullies on the internet. They've never been punched in the face. Okay? Like I'm from Brooklyn. You know what's funny? I lived for a year and a half in Jersey City. Back in the freaking 90s. Alright? Like you guys, your whole generation's a fucking joke. You know fighting. I'll snap you like a twig. Like, you kidding me? Yeah.
They come right at the end.
No.
They didn't even see anything that was going on earlier.
It's all the same circle of idiots.
Mhm.
And it's kind of funny, you know? Okay, fine. Tell that to the 6'3" crazy Puerto Rican dude and smash your head into a freaking coconut. But this is the problem with the world right now. Exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
They don't know real from fake. They don't have any respect. They don't have any...
It's just so much confusion.
No, it's not even that. They have no basic morality. These kids in this generation, they haven't gotten their ass whooped. They haven't been in fights. They haven't had their moms spank. Not even their parents spank them. So they have no consequence.
Well, it's not even if you're not going to spank, they have no discipline at all.
They have no discipline. They have no discipline. They have no self-respect.
Yeah.
Because somebody with self-respect wouldn't go on the internet, going around to other people's channels just to be degrading. These guys are losers. The whole generation are losers. Okay? And look at his name, Muhammad, you know? He's not even from, come on. I'm 23. What do you fucking know at 23 years old living in Jersey? In fucking 2023. You were born in 2000. Your whole life is on easy mode. You didn't even live without the internet. Just shut up. I'll crush your skull. Are you kidding me? I feel bad for that generation. They need people like us, but the internet has broken their mind. They need me as a father figure. And then they don't even have the reference point to accept and call me daddy.
True.
You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. They want a hug from daddy. You know? So with Pung, you think expand all directions. Okay. First level of Pung Jin is first the bone post, and then breathing and getting the upflow, just the circle in front of you. Because it's too many levels for the average person. I want to think I have the sphere up to my spine. You push as hard, hard, hard. Okay, good. So now I'm going to upward rotate, clear my chest, upward rotate. Okay? So the first level is I want to have this big ball, and he's running into the ball, and the ball bounces and spins him up. Level 1. Okay?
So up or movement.
Right, because if you're thinking expand in all directions, it becomes G. Because once I expand in all directions, he gets that effect, where he's pushing off of the... So that to me is not Pung. In order for it to be Pung, it has to have an upspin. It's literally the ball has to do this. So I'll put pressure on my chest. It's this. Okay? It's that. So at first he's leaning on the wall. The wall becomes round and it starts spinning up. That's the first level.
So getting that roundness.
So so getting the round shape and then the upward, the tailbone tucks and the whole machine rolls.
Yeah.
That's why it looks fake, because he's hitting the spring system and the spring system rolls him up. Sorry. So if I do everything together, I catch his body's pressure and then I roll him up. So he has a bubble from the spring, but it's an upturn. After you have this foundational mechanical thing, then the next esoteric level is to get this expansive G-force in all directions. So now the pung is everywhere, but it's not pung if it doesn't have up. Pung must
So
have
you're just going out.
pung must have bounce, boing, but up. Pung without the up rotation is just G. This is my opinion. I'm sure there's different interpretations. But when you look at the Tai Chi symbol and how it operates, Pung Jin is this part of the circle, An is this part of the circle, Lu is this, and G is this. You know what I mean? But
So without your three-dimensional diagram, you're not going to be able to
Right.
get this.
however, you can interpret Pung Jin to just be an expanding force everywhere. But the reason it's said that way, because Pung is a euphemism that means boing or bounce. It's like a cartoon sound. Pung! Pung, pung, pung. Like you fucking throw a ball and you hear a pung sound. It's a sound. It literally is like poing or boing. Like in English we say boing. Right? In Chinese you say pung. So there is that whoop, that bubble feeling.
Well, even like you're saying, if you toss a ball at the ground, it goes up once it bounces.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that bounce is pung.
Yeah.
So, to me, just filling the space can have a pung quality, but pung in application is an upspin. But the foundational energy is expansive. So that's why it's very confusing, because it means both things at once. They're both correct. It really is the upspin, but it also is the bounce.
So to answer this question, the first thing is to get your roundness and ball, and then it's for up.
Right.
So practicing those first two.
Right, so I would rather have bone structure where at first he's running into me and he feels my bones. So when he pushes hard, he can't move because he's running to the ground. He's not running into me. This bone is going directly to the ground. That's the first level of everything. If you don't have this bone structure where he can't move you because he's pushing the floor, you don't have any Tai Chi.
Yeah, all the rest doesn't matter.
So now we don't even start with Pung or G or anything. We have to have the standing frame. So you can push as hard as you want, I can rest here. I have 400 discs, I can't even walk right now. There's no make sure doesn't understand this. I'm in a lot of pain. Okay? Moving right now hurts, but push as hard as you want. I don't feel this. Okay? This means nothing to me. And he's pushing as hard as he can on one leg. That's the first level you have to have. You have to have the bone post, standing pile in alignment. Then we can start to talk about, okay, now I'm going to expand, and now you have my pump. But if you don't have the frame and actual bone post, nothing works. Everything stands on this bone puppet thing. Everything stands on you taking the bow and getting to the ground. Right? If I throw a good jab in boxing, you push,
Push the arm.
push straight through. Push straight through. It's the same idea. Right? If I line up that jab, he should feel like he's running to the ground. Right? I do like when I go, you should feel like you're running to the ground. Right?
Yeah.
It's not my muscle.
Right. It's a 2x4.
It's a 2x4, you're running to the post.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yes, because classical boxing, the guys are idiots.
Bye.
Classical boxing is not a martial art. It's fucking idiots. Look at these morons, they're just trying to control so hard. Why? What do you guys get out of this? What is it? You're not as good looking as me, you're not as strong as me. You know in reality you have no chance playing with me. What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make any sense for you. If you haven't seen me in real life, you're gonna die. So what do you think is gonna happen? Like, it's just so stupid. I'm literally showing a standard jab in boxing.
I know,
And
right?
it's a martial art. It's like, it's so stupid. Oh my god. I can't with these kids. We have a generation that's lost, man. Oh my god.
Well, what is
They wouldn't have survived Generation X. Like the geeky, nerdy kids would have eaten these people. You go to Brownsville when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, all these trolls would have died.
Yeah.
They have no chance of surviving life. It's like, holy shit. The mutants. We're in a lot of trouble, guys. You guys need dads. You want me to be your daddy? Why don't you just ask me to be your dad? Tell your mom to call me. Tell your mom to call me, please. Because this is ridiculous. I feel so bad for them. I actually feel bad for you guys. It really hurts my heart that your generation's so lost. It has no concept of reality or respect.
interesting too? In order to comment, they had to have been looking for something like this.
No. This is the same crew of people. They've been doing this for a long time. They didn't just randomly come and check. It's alright. They're idiots. And they'll never say it to my face in real life. They won't even think about it. That's why they're doing it. There's two types of people that do this. Ones are the ones that want lessons, but they're too egotistical and afraid to be humble enough to ask. The other ones who have no power in their life. And they want to use words like a girl and fight like a girl and use social bullshit to try to get power over somebody so they can feel important. You understand?
Yep.
But in both cases, they're losers in life. They have, they're losers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in real life, they're probably ugly, skinny, overweight, never got laid. You know what I'm saying? Like to sit and waste your life to do what they're doing and make it the normal thing. The third one is they're my competition, they're coming in fucking fake accounts trying to start trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's guys who come here with lots of subscribers, they come, they steal my content, they rebrand it. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing it for years. I just let them, what's the point? That's why I do, but the reason why I'm talking it out is so people can understand. Understand? I'm purposely giving them a little bit of time. One, because I want them to understand how stupid they fucking look to me. And two, I need you guys in the community who watch this later on to get in their head what's happening. How bad society is, how bad these people are, what their goal is, and everyone's community to stand up and say, yo, get the fuck out of here. You know? So we have to address it. You can't just be running away from trolls. I just spent an entire 3 hours talking about breaking people's necks to defend the temple. I'm not going to sit here and not defend the temple. Okay? I'll put a bullet in the kid's head. You come to me in my fucking place talking shit, you're going to die. You know? I'm not going to play with. Okay? I'll defend the temple. So, it is what it is. So, that's how the world works.
Sure.
So, anything else? But again, going back to the thing about Buddhism and not engaging in violence, you want to avoid violence, okay? But right action, right speech, and right livelihood are dependent on who you're dealing with. You can't defend the temple from invaders and raiders by saying, oh, please don't burn my temple down. Okay? You have to just hit them with a baseball bat. Okay? So, and if they don't think my martial arts is good enough, it's good. I back I'm just gonna hit you with a stick, bro. I'm from the hood, okay? I'm straight ghetto. I'm telling you, guys don't understand. Okay, my martial arts aren't good. Fine. When you get hit with a stick, we're gonna see how good it is. Okay? I don't need martial arts. I'm 200 pounds, I'm 6'3", and I'll smash you. I'll smash you. So that's how you have to think, guys. You have to get tough and you have to smack kids around. Because otherwise the temple burns down. You know? You wanna go outside, buddy? Gonna watch that thing again. So any more questions? And that's it. I need to do chiropractic so I can actually do stuff. But you know, if anything, I can explain to you guys how strong Tai Chi is. I'm having trouble walking and bending and lifting stuff. And I'm still able to take full strength pushes and do techniques. So I want to reiterate this. If, you know, other real fighters and MMA guys start getting Tai Chi and decoding and seeing the health benefit, and when you get old and you're getting your 50s like we are, okay, and your bones are breaking, you need to have something to heal you and keep you functional. I can tell you as somebody who has all kinds of battle scars that you don't see on the camera, okay, I'm all broken and cut up, you know? How much I bench? I used to bench 315, I haven't benched in fucking, I don't even remember, you know? Like I maxed out at, I used to do reps with a 44K kettlebell one arm, and my max was about 315. But I haven't bench pressed in 7 years, so I probably can bench like 2 something, I don't know. The bench press is for pussies. Bodybuilding for people who can't fight, don't want to fight, and want to look like they can fight because they're scared. Okay? So,
There's much truth to that.
this is a reality. Fuck out my channel. So, that's the reality. You know, that was training at Equinox, like, not one of those bodybuilders ever had a chance with me. I played a lot of them, like powerlifters and whatever, and they couldn't move me, you know? And I was only 220 at the time.
Yeah.
So I was running about 225. I looked like a superhero. I was like super jacked. But I didn't even need it, because the technique just is technique. You can't beat the technique. Alignments are alignments.
Now, I mean, we all have our ailments. I have a bad left knee, and if I didn't do Tai Chi practice, I know it would nag me way more than
I did
if I didn't.
I did classes, I started boxing when I was 4. I started boxing when I was 4, bare knuckle, okay? I had my first cage match when I was 6. I am not bullshitting you, okay?
Well, even
So-
excluding Tai Chi,
My body's broken up. So the fact I'm still walking is a miracle. Tai Chi did it.
even just doing like daily kung fu, even a hard style kung fu, going through the routines, it keeps your body lively, and even when you have injuries, it's still allowing you to move the body.
Look, I'm having trouble walking, but once I go to Tai Chi, I'm still able to do most of the stuff.
Mhm.
So if that's not a testament to how strong Tai Chi is, I don't know what is.
No whining,
So-
okay? No whining.
All right. Anybody else from the people who actually have brain cells, who actually care about what they're learning here today, want to have any more questions? No? So I'm going to go hobble in pain. I love you guys. I even love the trolls. You know, they just need a little smack. You know, you gotta be a little tough with them. Give them a little papao. You know, con chancleta. They're Hispanic, they understand. Te quiere papao? Toma. Okay? Okay? That's how grandma would handle it. Where's my chancleta?
Throw those 2 at me.
Hold on, where's my chancleta? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Here you go. No me jodas, puto! Okay? Don't make me bust it out. Okay, don't make me bust out the chancleta. So with Lu, you just let your center spin. When you let the energy hit your stomach and send the energy. Generally, yes. Lu, but fundamentally, Lu is when you allow the opponent's linear force, linear intent to move you. So it's the first most important level of it is, you know, I mean, obviously you have the Lu, Dai Lu form, but the most important aspect of this is, let's say he's on here. This is the form of Lu. Right? He puts pressure, he creates the wheel. I don't have to actually do anything. If he's on offset and he pushes, I let him go through the vacuum. If he's really committed to this push, like actually push, that's kind of like, that's the most fundamental concept of Lu, is to create a vacuum of what he falls into.
The key is,
a higher level of
the key
this.
is what you just said, is the person actually has to be committed.
He has to be committed.
Yes.
The next level is when I take it inside. So now I take it inside, and now I can take it and put it back out. That's the other level. Now I'm taking the force, putting it into my bone springs, and then I'm allowing it to manipulate out. So for wrestling and getting to the position, you push hard, right? I take that force and I take it and I explode it out. Okay? So that's another form of Liu. Now, obviously, all the other fundamentals, sinking, dropping weight, gravity, buoyancy, force, those are all obviously the fundamentals that have for you doing this. But yeah, that's back.
Okay. Got too aggressive there.
No, it's just normal walking hurts more than Tai Chi. It's real, I'm serious. It's just I have one vertebrae is out and I have to get it popped in, I can't get it popped in. So to answer your question? So, to head to the target, right. So, there's different ways. For instance, he goes to throw like a punch, I cannot even be there. And that's Liu. So if he goes and I goes, or I slip, and he goes this and I slip, like he does a straight punch, like I slip, that's Liu. And then the opposite hand comes in. Right? So anytime there's a slip involved, he goes into a vacuum as a form of Liu. But the front hand is the strike hand. So whether I create a vacuum and spin and hit him, or if he puts pressure and use that to hit him, or if he uses that pressure to do the arm break, which is also a strike, all that's the same. Does that make sense? I think that's good. I think that way. And these brand new shoes are not helping. Like they're literally brand new. I got them for my birthday. I just sent them for my birthday. They have memory. July.
Oh, happy.
Thank you.
But
But
next month.
oh yeah?
That's the big 5-0.
Oh shit! Already?
Next month, yeah.
Doing good, man. I think my chocolates will be better. I think the shoes get worse because it's memory foam. That's probably why. I never won them before. I thought it would be better, but did not help. How do you know I'm not left, bro? How do you know I'm not left? See?
Another one.
Where can you start? Start by apologizing for your mom for getting knocked up on a pull-out couch and letting the best part of you get fucking run down her way. I'm only kidding. If you're actually really serious about not being a weakling and a mental midget, you start by shutting up, being humble, and going to ask people for information and learn things every single day of your life. And try to make every single day of your life 1% better than the day before. Stop competing with other people. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Worry about beating yourself yesterday. Am I a better person than yesterday? Did I help somebody today? Did I make the world a little bit better? Because in your generation, you have only two, let me explain this, you have two options in life. Three, you're either a hero, a villain, or collateral damage. So if you really want to learn, start by learning about your mind and your heart. Stop being corrupt in your soul. Stop trying to be a moron. Because you disrespected yourself the second you walked in here. Now I don't like you. You understand? You've made the world a worse place than it already is, and the world's already fucked up. The world's already fucked up. So if you want to learn lesson one, make the world a better place 1% of the time. And if you can't do that, shut your mouth. Lesson one. It's dad. Okay?
Maybe he's.
Don't assume my gender.
No. Maybe he's apologizing to his mom. Remember you made a comment of his mom.
Oh yeah, well he better apologize to his mom. But seriously, you know, the philosophy is more important. You won't become a warrior, you just become a villain. The whole point is that you have to make yourself and the things around you better than it was when you got there. So you have to decide, are you a hero or a villain? If you want to be a fucking villain, I'll treat you like one. Okay? I'm the warrior attendant. Okay? I tell you, I'm Buddhist, but my idea, some people, you know, about Amitabha Buddha and Kuan Yin, but some of us have to become the warrior attendant. Some of us have to guard the temple. You understand? Do you want to guard the temple or you want to raid the temple? Or do you want to be in the middle getting wrecked? That's what you need to learn. That's what all you trolls need to learn. So, what can you do? Shut up.
Oh, a simple apology.
I don't want him to talk about it. He's going to learn. Okay, so on is basically clear chest. We've done it 1,000 times, but on energy is just, and most correct in combat range is a seal. So I want to smother him down. On is also a punch. I don't want to hurt you again. That's on.
I didn't even know you hurt me, but it did.
So on is this. Okay? So that, okay? Any kind of a downward force, downward pressure strike, downward anything is on, but also it's a check mark. So I want you to think of that on is not just down here, but down towards him, in. Because if we're in trapping range or here, when I use on, I want to smother him in. You see that? So anytime you see wrestling and grappling, where there's an energy that covers his hands and blankets them together and collapses into his body is on. The reason why he gets flung is, okay, right here. So you feel how I've compressed you?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the angle, you only have two options, right? You're going to fight against me,
Or move.
but if you fight against me, what's going to happen? Fight against me.
Yeah, it's come.
You get wedged.
Mhm.
Because the contact angle, you're leaning on a wall, and the wall just did this. So I want you to imagine you're on a wall, pushing the wall forward, and the wall does this to you. So you put pressure on me like this is on. Okay? His fingers can't sustain this angle. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a form of on. It's blanket seal smother.
You know, I really like that you just did that because people get confused about this. They're thinking that you're that bending
No.
and leaning. Leaning's no good, bending good.
Right.
So there's a lot
I
of
just
people.
looked at
A lot of people think that you don't bend. Like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, the leaning, the bending.
So that's on, right? So anytime that I have an energy, a force, wave, the chi, the force that has a down angle, like a check mark, it goes down. But the reason he wants to go is because he's getting wedged out. That energy is compressed, he has nowhere else to go. Right? At this point in the game, he tries to resist, he wedges himself out. Don't push against me. You have nowhere to go, because the angle is too acute, you can't go anywhere. You're pressing against this angle, it's pushing you out. But if he doesn't resist, I give him pull. And he goes anyway. So that's really on. So functionally, it's a down strike, like crane style, or it's the blanket seal smother and force him to expel himself out.
Well, also your compression tissue.
I compress every system at once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to separate this concept of fascia because it's not how the body operates. I'm going to say this another time. The grand discovery of Tom Myers and anatomy training in the myofascial system is that the body works in a closed chain through tensegrity and it cannot be separated. Fascia cannot be separated. Tendons and ligament can be separated. We treat the system holistically.
Squish the whole package as one.
I'm just taking every piece and squishing it all together.
Mm-hmm.
The whole system.
And then when you let it go, it automatically
Right.
bounces.
Because, you know, but again, I want you to really get this idea that on is to seal, blanket, and cover. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, now you're compressing.
So you're compressed yourself. I just put my weight on top of it. Because of the way your body functions, you don't have a liver now. Your strength was this way, so if your energy's this way and I go this way, you can't resist it.
Right.
Your body's got something to do with that angle. So if you're even a bodybuilder, you can lift 5,000 fucking pounds. From this angle, you have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You resist, your body has to go out that way. Try with one finger, go.
Yeah, this is your 4 ounces versus 1,000 pounds.
4 ounces, 1,000 pounds. And then you get spit out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about this, what do you call it? Swallow and spitting. Like the snake swallows and spits. So you come in, I swallow you up, and then what looks like I'm spitting you out, most of the time is he spills himself out. But if he doesn't, then I eject him. Yes, in that instant, that's what I'm doing. I'm collapsing, but
Yeah, but
I'd
that's-
rather you think of it as the force wave. Because it may not be his arm, maybe his leg. It may be his head. If he goes for a double leg takedown, I may do on his head. Understand? Do it again? We'll do slow. So I may do my elbow bridge and then apply on straight here. Okay? So it may not be his arms, but in this context it's arm. Right? It's more about the force production and the vector. If he has a vector, linear vector, I can smother the vector. If he throws a front kick, I can do the smother again. Okay? If he has me to clinch, and he goes to knee, I can smother the knee. See what I'm saying? Same idea. Okay? So all of that's the same shit. But it's more about the vector of force, the alignment of the force, and whatever's coming, except we're dealing in gesture. Not like exact application. I don't have to have his hand here. That's what people don't say about Tai Chi, don't work like that. It's about, I have rollback, right? This actual rollback, throw a jab, throw a right hook, throw a roundhouse kick. It's still rollback. Okay? Just cover. Okay? So you gotta think of the vector, the line of force that's coming. He could have a stick, it could be a bat. I don't know what it is. I know there's something coming at this angle, and if it's a circle, I have this technique. If it's a straight line, I have this technique. So we're dealing in a chess game that the only thing he can do to me is come to me with a force of either in a circle or a line. That's it. There's only in the universe. He's gonna come punch straight in my face, right? Or he's gonna punch in the hook. Whether the hook is this way or this, it doesn't matter. It's either a curve or a line. So what Tai Chi is dealing with is how do I respond? Yes, take a look like this. What's up, bang? How you doing? I hurt my back again, and all the trolls are being mean to me. Can you come give me a hug? So, yeah, that's basically that. So yeah, that's it. So that's on. So think of on as seal, smother, and compress, and then the effect of him being launched is either A, the acute angle forces him to push against something that cannot get a linear return force, so he gets chugged out, or as he's compressed and I feel him lose his foot, I can add pun and launch
The
it.
confusion part with his second part of the question was thinking that his hands have to be in a certain type of position.
Right, your hands don't have to be in a certain position.
Yeah.
So this is the thing about Tai Chi also. While there is a handset that has function, so like he does this and I have like functions of the handset, right? The energy in the handset is not linked to the position. So I can have on energy anywhere. If I put my foot down, the brake of a car is on. Okay? Anytime I have energy going diagonally down and forward and then up is on. Anytime I have this is pump. Anytime I have this feeling of sucking into a vacuum in a circle around my axis is blue. Anytime I feel a linear force, especially squeezing from two angles, is G. Okay? So, any other questions? I want to make sure I get as much as possible because the way my body is falling apart, this may be my last
I
stream.
know, right?
I really need to go freaking chiropractor. This is killing me. So, any other ones while I'm hobbling over here, guys? Oh. It's those new shoes really messing me up. I can feel the squishy and then put the it's.
See, I don't even actually like to wear shoes like that. I like these.
It was a birthday present. I never wore them before. I figured, oh, they're brand new. They might be better. It was stupid.
All that cushioning, actually. Yeah.
It was really stupid. It made it worse. Okay. Well, I think that's it. I think I've answered as much as I possibly can. We have more than enough to chop stuff up and
I know. If you want to make little clips, you got plenty.
You know, I wanted to do the actual, but this is a good clip. I've been 4 years almost now since I even had to apply any of the teaching this stuff. But I will also say that the highest level is not to need the form. So when playing push hand, I want to, like, you know, all this stuff is not, it looks like it's not the form. But if you isolate it, and I just isolate all my moves and you slow motion it, you're going to see directly out of form. But it's just, you know what I'm saying? If you blow it up and you slow it down, it's the same thing. Because it's just, you want to be able to get to a structure that's next, that's leading. So that's it.
Oh, and then going back to that, if you don't see it in the person who's executing, they haven't practiced it enough to actually use it the way it should be
Right.
used.
And you
They're,
should,
they're basically forgetting it and not using it. Like that video I was saying, the guy that says, oh, I'm the Tai Chi MMA guy.
Right.
It's like, well, you were calling yourself Tai Chi, but you didn't use
anytime.
any of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, one fundamental of using Tai Chi boxing is only two ways it should look. It should look like you're holding a big wheel, and like if you go to the soul, I'm gonna roll and then roll into these punches, but it's my whole body, like.
Yeah, if you connect with one of them, it's
That's Tai Chi boxing, so it should look. I'm over exaggerating, but you should be like, run! And your whole, like you're turning this big wheel. Okay? The other way is very formal. You come. Okay? So this is very formal, classical, how the apply should look. To go straight out of the form, handset, you should see the handset. Okay? Like, it should look exactly like the form that should just smash through you.
yeah.
So those are the two methods, okay? So that's how I look at it, you know, if you're actually boxing. All right, before I hurt myself any further, I love you guys. Thank you, Seafood Down, for helping out, and I hope we got a lot of the lesson here. And we'll see when the third one happens, if I'm not in a wheelchair. But I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys soon. You know, remember, some of us have to become the warrior attendants, and it better be you. You know, you all have to be sheepdogs to your own temples. So start training. I'll see you guys soon.